a flight.
I need a vacation like nobody's business. I need a vacation.
This summer, you need the airline with low fares to more places. The biggest bargain airline in the land, United.
I've got a vacation.
And so, following the turmoil of the 30s, the aviation...
I'm not just flying.
Low fare.
I'm flying on vacation in the friendly skies.
Daryl, it's 110 stories high.
World's tallest building. You ready?
Daryl, are you sure these will hold us?
No problem. They'll take us all the way to the top.
But, Darryl,
There'll be endorsements,
this guy, Darryl.
TV appearances, books. We'll make millions. You ready?
Are you sure these will hold?
Trust me. They'll stick like glue.
There's an easier way to reach new financial heights. Play Lotto.
It's a beautiful day for baseball here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Hello again, everybody. This is Harry Carey. And look what the wind blew in here. Our good friend from Scottsdale, Arizona. His restaurant, the Pink Pony, is one of the most popular places on the baseball circuit. I'm referring to Charlie Briley. Charlie, as long as you were going to come here, couldn't you have bottled up some of that hot weather and brought it along with you?
Well, I'll send you some when I get back.
Charlie, what do you do there after the spring training is over? Because your place is the mecca for everybody in baseball, all the major leaguers, and of course now you don't have any of them around.
Well, it's almost like a funeral when you guys leave, but when you leave, the natives start coming back, so it gets to be pretty good.
How did your place become so popular out there with the baseball people?
I don't know. I was just lucky, Harry. I had a few friends in baseball, and they started hanging out there, and then the rest of them followed suit. I was very lucky.
One of your good friends was an old friend of mine. He's no longer with us, of course, Dizzy Dean.
He's the one that helped me get started. Dizzy gave me a lot of plugs on TV in the days, and then he used to hang out at my joint when he was at home, and we were old hunting buddies, and I have to give him most of the credit.
You know, Scottsdale now is the training base of the San Francisco Giants. The Cubs used to train in Scottsdale. The A's used to train in Mesa. The Cubs now train in Mesa. The Giants now, who used to train in Phoenix, train in Scottsdale. And the A's, who used to be in Mesa, are in Phoenix. What in the world caused all those shifts?
I don't know. Well, we should have kept the Cubs, but we let them get away from us. And we just had to take what came next after the Cubs left.
Now, I think I know what your answer is going to be. And don't be shy about it. If you're a Giant fan, say so. Who is your favorite Major League team?
My Cubs. The Cubs are my favorite club.
You answered that question exactly the way I wrote it for you.
The Cubs are everybody's favorite. All over the United States. The Cubs are everybody's favorite.
I bet a lot of people in your restaurant at the Pink Pony are watching you right now.
I hope so. I hope so.
All right, Charlie, good to see you.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you very much.
Charlie Briley, the owner of the Pink Pony in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was a pleasant surprise to have him walk into the booth a few minutes ago. He and his wife, Gwen, are here for this series, and then Charlie's going to head back for the sunny Southwest. Here the sun is shining, but it's a little bit on the cool side. There's only one other game underway in the major leagues, and Montreal, whose 8-game winning streak was interrupted yesterday, is leading Cincinnati by the score of 3-2. The pitchers for today's game are getting ready. The crowd's going to be in the neighborhood of 15,000 or so. Hey, can you see these holy cows? I want to tell you about them. Somebody just sent them up here. But first, let's all enjoy our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow
still fair. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
I've always been afraid of two things, flying and good cameras. But with this Canon T70, I'm not afraid. This push-button T70 is so easy to use, I can even get the tough shots, like backlit shots. Stop, take action shot, bang! I can even use a zoom, boom!
The Canon T70, so advanced it makes the tough shot simple.
I'm fearless now. Ooh.
Enter the Canon photo contest and win an adventure trip on the Salmon River. Details at Canon dealers.
Fry here.
LaRussa here. Are you ready for this year's Busch Crosstown Classic?
No, I'm just admiring this year's Busch Crosstown Classic display.
I see it too, Skipper.
Real handsome. Oh, thanks, Tony.
I meant the display, Skip. What do you think of the mug?
Oh, you mean the free Busch Crosstown mug fans get when they buy a case of Busch beer?
Yeah, Jim. You look real good next to it.
Tony, you never look better yourself.
When it's time to put on your fix-up hat, start with top-quality equipment from True Value hardware stores, like durable GE household sealants and Wagner glass mask for painting around windows. The Easy Roller by Easy Painter makes painting quicker, and it comes with a free brush. And top it all off with our True Test Easy Care latex flat finish from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers. With Steve Stone, this is Harry Carey at Wrigley Field. We're ready to play baseball, so here are the lineups. Dan Gladden in center, Will Clark at first, Chris Brown at third, Jeff Leonard in left, Chili Davis in right, Bob Brenly the catcher, Rob Thompson at second, Jose Uribe at shortstop. And from Buckley, Illinois, born in Urbana, Scott Garrelts, who was 1-3, lost 3, with a very respectable earned run average of 3.22. For the Cubs, Dunston short, Matthews left, Sandberg second, Moreland right, Durham first, Say third, Davis catch, Dernier center, Sanderson, who's 1-2 and lost 1 with a high earned run average of 5.16. Now, if you could, there are the umpires, Charlie Williams behind the plate, Harry Wendelstead, who has that fine umpiring school in Ormond Beach, Florida, Terry Tata, and Jerry Crawford at third. If the earned run average means anything, the Giants ought to win this game 5-3. But we all know that's ridiculous. By the way, it's 61 degrees here on the lakefront. But out at O'Hare, it's a very balmy 73. The wind's out of the southwest at 10, so it could be a factor.
There you look at Scott Sanderson. He's making his 6th start of the season, his 2nd against the Giants. He threw against them in San Francisco, went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 earned runs. He struck out 6 in that game. He got a no decision in a game the Cubs eventually won.
Here we go with Dan Gladden, 1 out of 14 for the year against Cub pitching, hitting .276 for the season. No homers and 8 RBI. High fly ball on the first pitch. Ought to be an easy out. Dernier grabs it, shading his eyes from the sun with his glove, as well as with his sunglasses. The first winner of the day, the New York Yankees. They have beaten Minnesota 6-4. Montreal leading Cincinnati 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th. With Reardon in there trying for the save. Here's the pitch now. Will Clark swings and he misses, hitting .279. 4 out of 18 for the year against Cubs pitching with 1 homer.
Will Clark admitted that the Cubs have been throwing him a lot of slow breaking balls. He said he might be looking for him today.
He gets another fastball and he fouls it back. Sanderson's figuring right with him, figuring he's going to be looking for the slow curve, so he starts him off with 2 good fastballs.
Well, it's tough to admit that on a show before the game, Harry, because you know the Cubs are watching in the locker room, and they probably figure no reason to throw him that slow breaking ball. He just might be looking for it.
You sure this boy went to college? 0-2 the count. The delivery. There's the slow curve, and he bounced it foul outside first. He's really a great young kid. He's 22 years old, just as pleasant as he can be. And when you see these kind of youngsters come into the league, the first thought you have as you first remark about what gentlemanly youngsters they are, that somehow they'll never change. So often they come up the first year or so, they're so polite, courteous, and then all of a sudden they believe their press clippings and you think it was a different man you're trying to talk to.
Will Clark only had 63 games of minor league experience going into spring training of 1986. Roger Craig gave him a full shot at winning the job at first base. That he did. In fact, he beat out Dan Dreesen, who was later released, along with a $1,600,000 2-year contract.
0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Smash hard, but right at Sandberg, he's got it. 2 up, 2 down. You know, a couple of weeks ago, all you had to do to get a left-handed pitcher named Tommy John was to pick up the telephone and call him. He was looking for a job anywhere. Today, he made his second start for the Yankees, won his second straight game as he beat the Twins 6-4. Righetti got the save. He beat Bert Blyleven. Here's a fastball outside.
Sanderson throwing the ball very hard today. This is a good day to keep the ball up a little bit. You can have some fly balls hit that probably won't go out of the ballpark. The wind blowing very hard in from center field.
Pitch to Chris Brown. Fouled out of play. In that Yankee game, Tommy John went through 7 innings. Righetti relieved in the 8th. Blyleven was the loser. John now 2-0. Blyleven now 3-3. Righetti got his 10th saves. Mattingly got his 3rd homer. Winfield got his 3rd. Ricky Henderson is 6th with the man on for the Yankees. High pop foul out of play. You know, we've all heard the expression, timing is everything. I think so it is in the careers of ball players. The guy, somehow, fortuitously, things develop that he's in the right spot at the right time. That might be the story with Tommy John, who's in excess of 40 years of age. 1-2 the count. Fouled off.
You know, Harry, the Yankees had a couple of pitchers go on the disabled list, and a guy like Tommy John isn't going to help a team that's not in contention. And they're not going to take a chance on an older pitcher. But a good team will take a guy like John, who has won in the past almost everywhere he's ever gone. They'll give him good support. He's only got to pitch 6 or 7 because Righetti's a top-line stopper, and he can help a team that's in contention.
He certainly has helped the Yankees already, hasn't he? Here's a pitch to Chris Brown, and he ducks out of the way. Montreal has increased their lead in the bottom of the 8th, and they're still batting. They're now out in front 4-2.
Sanderson's last time out, he had problems throwing the slow curveball early. Gave up 4 runs in the first inning and then settled down. And the feeling for that curveball came to him as the game went along.
Now the pitch. High pop foul. Coming over to the stands, out of play. Hart goes to bat for the Crosstown Classic, too. Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon, rather. The Hart Association has a big party Thursday night, May the 15th, just 4 days before the annual Cubs-Sox exhibition game here at Wrigley Field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A high fly ball, easy out. Bobby Dernier, nothing to it. 1, 2, 3 and out, nothing in front. We go on the bottom of the first. No score.
Stand by. Here's your hotline tip of the hour from the Comb Company. You see us in the Wall Street Journal. We take brand name closeouts and sell to our customers below dealer cost. Like this Deluxe Pulse Monitor wristwatch, a $70 value, just $38 from Comb. An Opti electric sensor with an infrared beam monitors your pulse for exercise. Special readout panel reports your pulse rate before, during, and after your workout. A pulse alarm warns you if you go over your preset limit. Pulse Watch is also a convenient digital timepiece, even a stopwatch. The electronic Pulse Watch. If you work out, you'll want one. A $70 value, now just $38 from Comb. How do you get one? Call this number. Give the operator your credit card, and we'll send it rush delivery. Don't wait. Call now.
Send your check or call 800-554-7000. Credit cards only by phone, 800-554-7000. For rush delivery, call now.
Hello.
Jim, it's Tony.
You crazy? It's 9:30 at night.
Not crazy, happy. Thought you might want to join me for a smooth bush beer. We just won a big one.
We won ours today during normal business hours.
Great. So we'll celebrate both wins with a bush. What do you say?
Well, some smooth bush would be a pleasant nightcap.
Hey, I'm buying.
You're buying.
It's my turn.
I'll be right over.
Hey, baseball fans, head for the mountains of Bush Beer.
Save on Puma's Tough Spike baseball shoes with removable liners, the RV1, only $21.96 at Sport Mart. For sports, it's Sport Mart.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. We go now to the bottom of the first. Sean Dunston will be leading it off. Birthday greetings to audio man Jack Stoker of the WGN crew, celebrating number 33. Oh, to be 33 again and know what we know now. Geralds is 3-3 with a 3.22 earned run average.
And one of those wins was picked up as a reliever. This is his 8th start of the year, but he was a reliever one time a couple of weeks ago against Pittsburgh, and he picked up the win in a 12-inning game.
Dunston takes a strike. He's in the hole 0-2. Birthday greetings to Cubs employee Bill Wood. There's a fastball low.
Geralds threw against the Cubs in San Francisco. He went 8 innings, gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs. Struck out 6 and walked 2. He threw the ball very well, but got a no decision as the bullpen failed the Giants.
He held up in time. Hey, there's a case of a pitch breaking in the dirt. Dunston held up. Now the umpire, what if there was an appeal on that?
Well, it's a tough call for the umpire at first base. That's why Wendelstedt signaled early, Harry. If he calls a strike, they just throw to first and they throw out Dunston.
There's a high fly ball driven into right field, back deep, gonna be caught. Chili Davis turned completely around, then made a basket catch of Sean's long drive. But usually the umpire, Steve, doesn't call it until he's appealed to.
Here you see a fine catch by Chili Davis. You're right, Harry, about the appeal, but I think because of the confusion of that play, and only in this circumstance would Wendelstedt signal early, because if Sean breaks the first base, he admits that he swung at the pitch, and he's going to probably be out anyway.
1 ball, no strikes. Here's Gary Matthews hitting 188. There's a pitch in there for a strike call. And the count is evened up with a ball and a strike.
Geralds throws the good split-finger fastball. In fact, Roger Craig has said that he throws the best one on the ball club.
There's the pitch low. 2 balls and a strike. The Giants are having their best start in some time. They're 18 and 14. The start, 8 years. Here's a check swing. 3 balls and a strike. He walks in. So the first base runner today is a Cub. Nice crowd on hand. Must be about 18,000 or so. Gerald Wise of Pekin, Illinois, who designs custom pins. Sent us a supply of holy cows.
Nice looking
really
cows.
Neat, yeah.
You have about 6 of them on your jacket, however.
Only 2. Only 2. I got one for you.
Thank you.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, double play ball. Out at second. Out at first. And Sandberg has rolled into a double play. At the end of 1 inning, no score.
Want a new way to get your kicks?
Now it goes to St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City,
The Toyota MR2.
You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico.
Mid-engine, 16 valves, 2-seater.
Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino.
Very affordable. Toyota MR2.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
It's a kick.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
And now, Church's Fried Chicken presents the Buckethead.
What's for dinner tonight, dear?
What else? The bucket.
Did you get too little?
Sure.
Did you pay too much?
Of course.
Way to go, Mom.
Don't be a buckethead. Head to Church's Fried Chicken and get bigger chicken that's crispy and juicy at a lower Church's price. You won't get that in the bucket.
Mom, will we always be bucketheads?
Kick the bucket. Come to Church's.
Watching an adventure movie on a VCR? Terrific. But you're only hearing half the fun until you hear Zenith's Hi-Fi Stereo VCR. The stereo sounds so real, it's like being there. You can even tune in and record stereo TV broadcasts. Zenith's VHS Hi-Fi Stereo VCR.
Look out! Quicksand, old boy.
One of the smart VCRs. Zenith, smarter than ever.
So tempting, so tangled in trance, exciting, electric, extreme. Kim Novak, James Stewart, Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece, Vertigo. It leaves you reeling.
Tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
Well, Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. The Iowa ball club was beaten 4-3 last night. Brian Dayette had 2 hits, including a double and a triple, and he drove in 2 of their 3 runs. I still can't understand why he isn't in the big league. Pittsfield lost in 11 innings to Reading, 11-8. I wonder if my stepson, Roger Johnson, played in that game. He's with Reading. That's in the AA League. Winston-Salem was shut out. Winston-Salem was shut out by Salem 3-0. So the only winner in the Cub organization last night was Peoria. They knocked off Waterloo 4-3. This crack shortstop, Jeff Small, won 4 out of 5. And John Turner, an outfielder, and Mark Grace, slugging first baseman, each had 3 hits. Leonard Damian was the winner, striking out 11. Peoria with the best record in the Cub organization, 17-11 in first place in the Midwest League.
Interesting that Sandberg should start him off with a change. It was the high change that Leonard hit out of the park in Candlestick.
There's a high pop fly. Sandberg racing after it. Still going. Makes a fine catch. He was looking for help from Moreland, but Moreland couldn't get to it. And Sandberg, utilizing his fine speed, makes the catch. Watch it.
This is a tough play for Sandberg. The wind is taking the ball away from him. He stays with it after he realizes that Keith Moreland can't get to the play. Watch it one more time. This is going to be a double if he doesn't catch this one.
Fine play by Sandberg.
And a lesson for all you youngsters right there. You saw Sandberg, probably the best fielder in the game, catch that pop-up with 2 hands, not 1. Remember that. It's an easier way to catch the ball and make sure you don't drop it.
Here now is Chili Davis, and the pitch is low. Sanderson's retired 4 in a row. And Montreal, after having a winning streak interrupted last night at 8, stopped at 8, comes right back with a victory today. 4-2 over the Reds. 2 balls, no strikes. There's a drive way back. It might be. It is Chili Davis. Homers over the right field wall. And that's his 4th of the year.
He really crushed this ball into the wind. It's gone all the way across the street. Chili Davis got a 2-0 fastball right in his wheelhouse, and he just buried it over the right field wall. His 4th home run, his 18th RBI, and no doubt about that one.
And that on Sanderson is the 5th home run he's allowed in 30 innings of pitching. As a matter of fact, all the starters are allowing a lot of home runs. They have now permitted 38 of them. But it shows you again. Watch where this goes.
Inner half, fastball just a little bit above the belt. Keith Moreland gives it the courtesy run, but it's over the back fence. And watch how far the ball goes.
Across the street and into the yard. Here now is Bob Brentley. Look at it. He had to go through the gate to get it. 0-1 the count. Arnie gives you a play-by-play of the retrieving of the ball far across the street in somebody's front yard. There's a slider in there, a strike call. Montreal is now 7 over the 500 mark. The Reds are now 12 games under the 500 mark.
Brentley leads the National League in walks with 26.
Here's a curve low. The Dodgers, the Reds, and the White Sox were tied for the most losses going into today's play. There's a high pop fly. Dunston chasing it in foul territory. What a catch! Holy cow!
He just outran the ball. There's no way in the world he should make this play, but with his great speed and good hand-eye coordination, a beautiful basket catch, and Sean Dunston has made another outstanding effort.
You know, out of fairness to Rod Say, I'm compelled to say this. You know, Say looks so slow and so stationary. It may be that he isn't really that way. It's just that he looks that way compared to the quickness and agility of Dunston, who's alongside of him. Here's a ground ball to Say. Nice pickup and throw to retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, nobody left. We go down to the bottom of the 2nd. Giants are out in front 1-0.
Wild passions explode on the Wild River, starring Lee Remick and Montgomery Clift. Tonight at 11:30 on Channel 9.
Hey, Jill, did you know I got a photographic memory?
No, Nick.
Sure, watch this. Rick Sutcliffe, 812 strikeouts, 3.73 ERA, 81 wins, 54 losses.
Wow, Nick.
Gary Matthews.
Cub fans, right now you can get a photographic memory free from Unical dealers.
Scott Sanderson.
1 earned run in 39 innings.
How'd you know that?
The stats are on the back, Nick.
Hey, Murph, did you know I got a photographic...
Spirit of 76.
Get your free Cub action photos.
They were high school buddies with a dream, and what they began in the trunk of a car became the Dearborn Wire and Cable Company. Today, Bud Green and Dick Rosenberg's dream has annual sales of $35 million. Their bank, the Harris.
The only thing Dick and I really know is the wire and cable business. We use the Harris for advice. It goes far beyond just the money. It's the people. They have the best.
Strong, responsive, innovative, professional, the Harris. Move up to the banking lion.
Being an all-round cowboy isn't always a case of throwing a perfect loop. Sometimes it's a sack of potatoes. And when you're ready for a second opinion, head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream for a taste as smooth as its name.
Well, that was really good. Want some more? Sure.
Head for Bush beer. For the mountains.
When they hit one over the fence at Wrigley Field, it's a TruLink fence. For hundreds of styles of residential, commercial, and industrial fencing, dial TRULINK.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. We go in the bottom of the second. Here's Moreland to lead it off. I mentioned that the Dodgers, the Reds, and the White Sox had the most losses, were tied for the most losses going into today's action. Now, Cincinnati, having been beaten by Montreal, has the distinction all by themselves. They now have lost 20. The Dodgers have lost 19, and the White Sox have lost 19. The Reds are getting more publicity out of the dog that their owner owns than they are out of the baseball they're playing.
Mark Schott said, how would you like to have a dog that got more mail than you got?
3 balls, no strikes on Moreland. Gurrell's pitch right down the middle. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled out of play. While there are a lot of negative developments in baseball, the Giants certainly are contrary to that. Everybody was predicting dire things for the Giants in spring training about how bad their pitching was. They had 2 rookies on the infield. But they're 18 and 14 and playing real good. There's a ground ball going to be caught. Rob Thompson throws for the out.
Watch how quickly he got rid of the ball. This guy's a good second baseman, and this double play combination leads the National League in that category. Rob Thompson looks like he's been playing second base about 10 years. Comes over, gets in front of the ball, and then just gets rid of it with a little flip. They can turn him over in that infield.
He came right out of Double-A, not even Triple-A. He made a big jump. And Will Clark came right out of college. A year ago at this time, he was playing in Mississippi State. He played about 60 games after he graduated from college, and here he is in the big league. So they gamble on the kids, and the kids are coming through. Leon Durham with a count of 1-1. Fouled it out of play. Durham hitting .244 with 4 homers and 11 RBI.
Last time out, Scott Gurrelts walked 6 men against Pittsburgh. He got pasted in that one 8-2. So control is going to be the key for him.
Ball is a little bit low. Now watching the game at Al's in Vancouver, Washington. Ball outside, 3-2 again.
So far, he hasn't had the feel on that split-finger fastball. The last pitch was one of those, and he missed with it. He's missed with most of them today.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Foul out of play off to the left.
The Bulls using a new bat today. He said the last shipment he got was splintering. He was hitting the ball on the meat of the bat and still breaking his bat. You expect that on the handle. So he's gone to a new one.
3-2 pitch. Swung a blind drive in the center in there for a hit. So Durham singles to center. That'll bring up Ron Say, who's hitting the ball well this past week.
And you know, Harry, just like a lot of people we talk about, as he's hitting the ball better, he's actually playing a better third base defensively. It seems like most people, when they start swinging the bat, get a lot more confidence, feel better about their defensive skills.
Here's the pitch. There goes the runner. Strike called. The peg. Save for stolen base by the Bull. With tying runners in scoring position, the strike was called on save.
This is a dangerous play for Rob Thompson. First stolen base by the Bull. The throw is into the runner. Thompson has to go back across to get it and gets upended by Leon Duran going in hard to second base. Watch it again. The throw just offline, and it allows the Bull to slide in there safely.
So now Say has a shot at driving in a run. There's a high fly ball. Easy out. Now the wind is carrying. Leonard is there. Say popped to Leonard in short left. Here's Jody Davis hitting .267 with 3 homers. Boy, oh boy, you talk about surprising development. How about Mario Soto for the Cincinnati Reds? He was beaten again today. Ward Yeomans was the winner for Montreal, now 2-3. Reardon picked up his 5th save. Dawson got the game-winning hit. And Mario Soto, one of baseball's premier pitchers, now has a record of 2-5.
It's tough to have too good a record, Harry, when your team is 8-20.
Yeah.
They're just not scoring a whole lot of runs.
Here's a pitch swung on, bouncing ball foul. Don Zimmer coaching at third.
You know, Cincinnati has been one of the true mystery teams of the league. They were expected to contend with the Dodgers. Both teams way down in the standings, but Cincinnati just having a terrible start.
0-2 the count. They're 8-20 at the moment. Nice save in there by Bob Brindley. The most outstanding record in baseball, of course, is by the Mets. They're playing .800 baseball. 21-5.
Bull with a big lead at second. Has to be careful of the pickoff.
Strike 3, a curveball, and he took it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 2, Giants lead 1-0.
The Illinois State Lottery. Winning lotto numbers are now drawn twice a week on Wednesday and Saturday. So double your chances to win millions. Play Lotto.
Conclusively shows that the plan to play was called correctly. Any questions? The representative of the National League has overruled that call and has gone in as a 4-3 Preds victory.
Here we go with Jose Uribe to start off the 3rd inning. Uribe hitting .237, a fine fielding shortstop. Say playing very shallow. Here's a fastball high. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 on Chili Davis's 4th homer of the year. His 18th run batted in. He hit it a mile. 1 ball, no strikes. A little bit outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Sanderson. Shooting for his 3rd victory of the year. Low, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes.
Ron Say still in very close at third base, trying to take away the bunt.
Ball is high. He walked him on 4 pitches. That'll give Scott Garrelts, who's a pretty good hitting pitcher, too, by the way, a chance to sacrifice if that's the way they want to play it.
Roger Craig hit and run quite a bit in Candlestick Park, and Gereltz, who does swing the bat well, if he gets charged, it might not be a bad play to send Uribe and let him take a swing at one.
Now the pitch. He bunts. The play's going to be to first base. Sandberg taking the toss, a sacrifice by Gereltz. So Gladden and Will Clark will have a shot at driving in the run. Next Monday afternoon, the Cubs entertain the White Sox here in the Crosstown Classic. General admission seats are still available, I understand. Here's Gladden. Good fastball. Gladden is 1 out of 15 against the pitching of the Cubs. Hey, Ron. Ron Santo, the great third baseman of the Cubs. Looking like $1 million.
An outstanding golfer, as he proved yesterday.
What did he shoot?
All 18 holes, I believe.
Sanderson chased a bad ball. 0-2 the count.
That's the reason why the Cubs have had such very good success with Dan Gladden. They've been throwing him high fastballs, especially on the inner half. And he's been swinging at him. He's reluctant to take too many of those. And a good high, tight fastball here ought to about do it.
0-2 the count. Uribe a good lead at second base. The outfield bunches Gladden towards center. Strike 3 call. That's the All-American weakness right there. A good curveball that split the plate really fooled Gladden.
As soon as you see the knees buckle, you know that Gladden's in trouble. And he takes it right down the middle.
There you see Ron Santo. We want to talk to him in just a moment. But first, here's Will Clark. With 2 out, a runner in scoring position. Curveball a little bit low. Here's the boy who came right out of Mississippi State, right to the major leagues. Some fellows spend 10, 12 years waiting for a break to come up. And others make it in a hurry.
The timing was excellent for Will Clark. This ball club wasn't supposed to do anything. They could afford to go with some youngsters, and they did, and now the youngsters are turning in great performances, and this team is now second in the National League West.
2 balls, no strikes. The outfield bunch towards center. They played Clark about the same way they played Gladden. Fastball low, ball 3. And Chris Brown will be coming up next. 3 balls, no strikes. Now Sanderson is ready. They might turn Clark loose. He's a fine fastball hitter. They did, and he fouled it back. Ron, would you like to get that 3-0 hitting privilege?
Well, I got it quite a bit, but, you know, sometimes when you got that 3-0, you got to make sure it's the right pitch, and I popped a few of those up. Get a little anxious.
Some players don't like that privilege of swinging with 3-0.
Well, at the beginning of my career, in the early 60s, they used to always throw fastballs. Now they throw changeups and breaking balls, so it does surprise you.
3-1 on Will Clark. Uribe in scoring position. He walked him, ball 4. What's going on, Ron? You look tremendous.
Well, thanks very much, Harry. I feel good. I had a real nice day out at the Quinlan yesterday. Beautiful day. Great day for golf, as Ernie Banks would say.
You're very active in this fight against diabetes.
Oh, absolutely. And we've got a big dinner coming up for Mike Dicker, which I'm very excited about. But I'm here to talk about the Cubs Care today. That's going to be June 26th in Wrigley Field, and it's going to be a real neat night. This is our third touch of class, and it's just dynamite.
I want to ask you a little more about it in a moment, Ron, but right now, Chris Brown swings. Whoa, past Dunston, a base hit. That'll score a run. Another man trying for third. He's going to make it.
Harry, it's absolutely amazing. Chris Brown has hit close to 400 with runners in scoring position over the last 2 seasons. And something happens to him when he sees men on the bases, especially with 2 outs. He just becomes awfully tough, and this ball kind of fools Sean Dunston and gets by him.
It was hit like a shot. So now, Sanderson's not out of the woods yet, because here comes Big Jeff Leonard. Runners at first and third, 2-0 in favor of the Giants. 2 men are out, and Leonard steps up, a notorious first ball fastball hitter. Chris Brown drove in his 17th run of the year. Leonard batting .314. Good fastball at the knee. 0-1 the count. Sanderson seems to have good stuff. But he's trailing 2-0.
And 2 walks have done him in this inning, especially the one to Uribe. 4 straight bad ones to lead off the inning.
And he doesn't do that too often, Sanderson. He swings at a breaking ball and he misses. And he's out in front of him now, 0-2. Giants out in front, shooting for their 19th victory of the year. One of the big surprises. There's some negative surprise developments, and then there's some positive ones, and this is one of them, the Giants. 0-2 the count. The Hackman is ready up there. He struck him out. A fastball. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the third. Giants lead 2-0. And Sano again. When is this affair, and how do people get tickets and so forth?
Harry, this affair is going to be June 26th, and for tickets, they go at $100 a piece or $1,000 for a table, and you can call 908-7430. That's 908-7430. It's the development office, and they can just call there, and they'll send out invitations, and it's just a wonderful night. We're expecting about 1,900 people. It's in Wrigley Field. We have a lovely tent, hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, and dinner. We're going to have an auction, a raffle. It's a very exciting night.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's right, and you get to meet all the ball players. They'll all be in tuxedos, and I'm sure you'll drop by, Harry.
Not in a tuxedo. In my shorts.
Oh, that's great.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ron Santo, the great third baseman of the Cubs, now very, very active in various charitable affairs.
Let's look at Roger Craig. He's got his ball club off and running.
Bobby Dernier hitting 165. The count is evened up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 score today, 2 scores today. The Yankees beat Minnesota 6-4. Tommy John, the winner. And Montreal beat Cincinnati. Mario Soto, the loser. 3-2, the fifth. He held up ball 4. That's a second walk given up by Gurriel.
This is the same scenario that the Giants used last inning against Scott Sanderson, so let's hope the Cubs can put something on the board.
Sanderson looking at Don Zimmer. The leadoff man, Sean Dunston, is on deck.
Chris Brown, an excellent fielding third baseman, in very close. Sanderson wants to keep the bunt away from him, preferably toward Will Clark at first base, who's got a holder near close.
He took it high, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. That's how the opposition tries to pitch in a bunting situation. High fastballs, hoping you'll pop the ball in the air. 1 ball, no strikes. Look out, he's back.
Brenly doesn't throw the ball exceptionally well, so Jim Fry might take this opportunity to start Dernier. If Sanderson gets the bunt down, Bobby could go all the way to third base if it's a good bunt.
Again, they throw over there. 1 ball, no strikes. Cubs trying to get on the board. They trail 2-0. Strike called over the inside corner. The Heart Association is going to bat for the Crosstown Classic Thursday night, May the 15th at the Westin Hotel. On the 19th here at Wrigley Field, the Cubs play the White Sox Monday afternoon. And Channel 9 will bring you all the thrills and action of the Crosstown Classic here Monday afternoon, June 19th. Strike call. That pitch looked low. Sanderson now in the hole. I would think that kind of a pitch would be the one you'd want to bunt.
He decided to take it, but Charlie Williams called it a strike. Now keep your eye on Dernier. They might decide to send him with 2 strikes.
1-2 the count. Hey, there's a good bunt. He only played first base. A sack. He did his job.
Back 3-4.
And now Dunston and Matthews will have a shot. And driving and a run. 2-0, the Giants are leading. Scott Garrelts, born in Urbana, now makes his home at Buckley. Big right-hander. Split one foul off the end of the bat. Dunston flat out to right his first time.
Giants have some pretty good arms in right and left field. Gladden doesn't throw very well in center. But especially Jeff Leonard in left, one of the better arms in the game.
Dunston waiting. Ground ball back to the mound. Nobody will do anything there. Easy out. 2 away, and that will bring up Gary Matthews. Next Monday afternoon, May the 19th, the Sox versus the Cubs here at Wrigley Field. There's some seats still available, I understand. There's a breaking ball for a strike call. Matthews walked his first time. Sandberg's on deck. That evens a count, a ball on the strike. Final game of this homestand tomorrow afternoon. Then the Cubs are going to play an exhibition game in Des Moines Thursday night before heading for Houston. A high pop foul. Out of play. Cubs will get their first look at the Houston Astros. And you'll see the game here on Channel 9 from Houston, 7:30 Friday night. One and two. That evens it up. A breaking ball. Gary Matthews hitting 188.
Sarge has got a pretty good eye, but he's got to be careful. Charlie Williams has been calling the ball down all afternoon.
Ball three. 3-2 now. Here's the pitch of decision. Dernier, the runner at second base. Full count. Giants are leading 2-0. Ball four, he walked him again. You're watching exciting Chicago Cubs baseball over WGN Channel 9, Chicago, America's #1 sports station, where you see the news each evening at 9. Sandberg rolled into a double play his first time, hitting .295, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. Breaking ball a little bit low. Keith Moreland on deck, but there are 2 out.
Big hole in right center field. Gerelt's digging himself into a hole with his control.
He walked 6 the last game he started. He's already walked 3 today. There's a high pop fly. Uribe is out. Gladden coming in. And Uribe makes the catch to retire the side. So, Dwayne Stats will be joining Steve in a moment. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field at the end of 3. San Francisco 2 and the Cubs nothing.
Steve Stone along with Dwayne Stats to take you through the middle. And for Scott Sanderson, deuces are wild. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, Scott's not exactly where he liked to be. Perhaps he can put it together here down the middle part of this ball game. Showing signs of throwing the ball well, but he's just not quite on his game. Meanwhile, this Scott Gerelt showing us again today what kind of an arm he has.
And Chili Davis to lead off the 4th inning. A towering home run in the 2nd inning put the Giants on top 1-0. Chili Davis continues to torment the Cubs, hitting .328 lifetime against Chicago coming into this one. Looks at a fastball wide.
Home run by Chili Davis back in the 2nd inning. His first as a left-handed hitter this year. Last year, 12 of the 13 home runs came left-handed.
Fly ball center field. Bobby Dernier right there. Puts down the glasses and makes the catch. The Giants have the luxury of having 2 pretty good catchers, Bob Brenly and Bob Melvin. Melvin, the better of the 2 defensively, but Brenly swings the bat better. And this year, Brenly's had an added bonus for Roger Craig. He leads the National League in walks, so he's been a very patient hitter, but the first time up, he popped up to Sean Dunston, who made an outstanding grab down the 3rd baseline in foul territory. Good breaking ball for a strike. As you mentioned, Dwayne, Scott's thrown the ball pretty well. It's just he's missed his location a few times. Good slider. 0-2.
2 very good pitches to start Brenly right here. He got Gladden on that good off-speed breaking ball back in the 3rd inning when he got out in front of him 0-2. See what he does with Brenly here.
Now Bobby Dernier moving straight away in center field. Line drive to left. The Sarge right there. And he puts it away for out number 2.
Well, he threw him a curveball on 0-2, but it wasn't exactly the best curve he's thrown this afternoon, but still good enough to get Brindley on a line drive to left.
Up steps Rob Thompson, who really hit the ball well against the Cubs in Candlestick Park. Hitting .400 against the Cubs coming into this one. Hasn't hit a home run yet. He's got 9 RBIs. And he grounded to Ron Cey to end the second inning. Outfield shallow for Thompson. He doesn't show a whole lot of power. Good fastball for a strike. So Sanderson getting the feeling back. He started very slowly last time out. And Jim Fry hoping that Sanderson can hold him right there and let his offense go to work. Good curveball. 0-2. Thompson and Will Clark are roommates. And they also provide some pretty good defense on the right side of the infield for the Giants. Strike 3, he got him. Threw the fastball by him. 3 up and 3 down for Scott Sanderson at the end of 3 1/2. The Giants on top, 2-0. Fourth inning, and this lovely young lady to my right is Eleanor Mondale, who's soon to work for WGN. But you're here for a different reason today, Eleanor. What is it?
Well, today I want to talk a little bit about an event that's coming up not only in Chicago but all across the country. It's called the Kodak Liberty Ride Festival, and it's to raise funds for the restoration of the Statue of Liberty, which you know represents liberty and what our country is all about. And they need our help and our money. The race is, as I said, Sunday the 18th, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's $23, and that'll get you a race, your lunch, and after it they're going to have America Rocks, which is a concert piped in from New Orleans. That's exactly where it's coming from. And that's Huey Lewis and the News, Hall & Oates, a lot of the bands. And quickly, the phone numbers, if you're interested, locally is 559-1212, and nationally it's in 108 cities, so see if it's in your area. You can call for information, 1-800-235-5005.
Thank you, Eleanor, and good luck with WGN.
Thank you.
Pretty good cause, restoring the Statue of Liberty. Leon Durham looks out at Scott Garrelts. Opposite foul. Eleanor will be working for WGN Radio. You'll be listening to her on the Wally Phillips Show as of the 1st of June. The Bull has the only hit off Scott Garrelts, and he looks at 1 wide. Count evens at 1-1. Ron Cey on deck. Outfield straightaway and deep for Durham. Line drive back up the middle. So Leon going to a new bat today. Probably he's going to write down the name of that one because he's 2 for 2. That brings up the Penguin. Flied out to Jeff Leonard in the second inning. Ron Cey starting to hit the ball a little bit better. 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Jody Davis on deck.
2 of those home runs off Scott Garrelts this year. And he has a grand slam home run during his career off this fella.
Fouls that one straight back. Ron Cey loves to hit fastballs, and Garrelts certainly fills that bill. He throws the ball very hard. He's been working on the split finger fastball. So far today, it hasn't been an effective pitch for him. But generally, feeling pitches come along a little later in the ball game.
Or on warmer afternoons.
Certainly. Well, some finals around the league. The New York Yankees defeated the Minnesota Twins 6-4. Montreal beat Cincinnati 4-2. Good fastball over the inside corner. 0-2. Tim Raines went 1 for 3 today. He extended his hitting streak to 17 games, and that's the tops in the major leagues this year. So after a slow start, Raines coming back. Chris Brown very deep at third base. Infield about halfway. This Giant team leads the major leagues in double plays with 28. Just missing outside, 1-2. The Giants have not been without their difficulties in the starting rotation. Atlee Hammaker probably lost for the year. Vida Blue on the disabled list. He threw before the game today. And Mike Krukow just sent back to San Francisco to have his arm looked at. They don't expect him to miss a start. But that's a tough burden to carry for a starting rotation.
Yeah, Krukow had x-rays. They came back negative. They're hopeful that he will stay in the rotation. They were a little fearful that he might have some bone chips in that elbow.
So Roger Craig having to juggle that starting rotation just to find some men to put on the mound. 1-2 count on the Penguin. Leon Durham swiped the base last time. Fouled it off, and that got a piece of Bob Brenly. Marla Collins delivers a brand new batch of baseballs to umpire Charlie Williams. And Scott Gerelt's ready to go. It's interesting from a pitching standpoint when you're a power pitcher and yet you know the hitter is a dead fastball hitter. You have to go to your second and third best pitches on occasion. Gerelt's takes a little too much time.
We've seen a pretty good slider out of Gerelt's in the past.
Robbie Thompson playing Say up the middle, very close to the second base bag. Fouled off. Count holds at 1-2. Gerelt's was a reliever most of his career. In fact, last year, Scott Gerelt's made 74 appearances, all of them in relief. He had a fine .230 earned run average, but Roger Craig had a big hole in that starting rotation. And Scott Gerelt's has filled the bill. 6'4", 195-pounder. There goes Durham. Pitch out. Throw to second. Looks low. And the Bulls in with another stolen base. So the Giants guess right. And Brenly cannot get the throw off.
And that pulls Durham even on the year in the steal department. He has 2 steals. He's been caught twice, and he stole that one on the pitch out. Here's another look. Generally, Roger Craig calls the pitch outs for the Giants, and Brenly one-hopped his throw a little bit to the shortstop side of the bag, allowing Durham to get in there safely.
Unlike Bob Melvin, the Cubs know they can exploit Bob Brenly, and they've done just that. 2-2 on Say. Fouled it off once again. This has been a painful at-bat for Bob Brenly. That one got a piece of him also.
Cubs are now 5 out of 6 running against the Giants.
Cubs trying to get on the board. They trail the Giants 2-0. Hits tied up at 2 apiece. Ron Say battling Scott Gerelt.
Good look at the concentration on the face of Ron Say. Gerelt's took a little bit too much time for him, and the Penguin called for time.
Like to send along greetings to Esby Collins in Princeton, Illinois. She sent up a beautiful quilt. Strike 3. He got him with that slider, Dwayne.
Yep. He took just a little something off his slider and strikes out Ron Say. Well, you know, with that great arm, Gerelt's with a fastball 90+ at times and that good slider. If he throws that split-fingered pitch consistently, you can only imagine how difficult he could be to hit against.
That was what was on the mind of Roger Craig. Gerelt's essentially a 2-pitch pitcher. When he moved in the starting rotation, he knew he needed another pitch. So he taught him the split-finger fastball. Jody Davis swings and he misses a high fastball. Jody struck out looking in the second. Outfield straight away for Davis. Jeff Leonard very deep in left field.
Jody thought he had a pretty good pitch to pull down the line on that first delivery from Gereltz.
Made him look bad on another slider. 0-2.
Gereltz up and in with that first pitch, and he got Jody to go after that one and then threw him the pitch down and away.
He got him again. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. End of 4. The Giants on top, 2-0.
Newhart episodes tonight at 6:30 on Channel 9.
You could be held under.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Donnelly Directory, publishers of the Ameritech Bell Yellow Pages.
Steve Stone, along with Dwayne Statz and Arnie Harris, the producer-director, taking you through the middle here at Wrigley Field, where the Cubs trail 2-0. Well, Ron Santo shot 75 yesterday. I shot 78. And, Dwayne, you shot a couple of ducks, didn't you, on the fourth hole?
I tell you, I woke up a lot of worms yesterday.
Having trouble getting it airborne?
Yeah. Our group was about 8 under. We had a beautiful afternoon. Great fellowship out there with Earl Van Geem and Joe Zisco and Al Wiesenbach. So we had a heck of a time, a good cause, and it was a wonderful event all the way around.
And we played at Exmoor Country Club, and we have to send along best wishes to those folks. They put on an outstanding event. Bruce Goodman, Jack Rosenberg, Vince Lloyd, along with a lot of other people, helped organize a quality event year after year. It's probably the greatest golf tournament around the Chicagoland area, and the cause couldn't be better. The Chicago Boys and Girls Clubs. Jose Uribe to lead off the 5th inning. He drew a base on ball, scored a run in the 3rd. Fastball misses inside. Ronce very close to third base, trying to take away the bunt. Despite the fact that Uribe has about a .230 batting average every year, he's hit .281 against the Cubs' lifetime. Pulls this one down the line, foul.
Well, calling card to the bullpen that time.
There's Greg Minton letting him know that he is awake, especially now. Jose Morales, the coach at first base. Gordy McKenzie, the coach at third. Morales is 3rd on the all-time list in pinch hits. Had 123 of them during the course of his 10-year Major League career. Outfield very shallow for Uribe. Two and 1 count. This Giant ball club leads the National League in runs scored with 140 coming into this one. And that's a surprise to everyone. Foul back, Jody Davis giving it a run, but it's back in the seats.
And that's a complete reversal of a year ago, and the Giants were really struggling to score runs. I want to remind Cub fans to be sure and stop by participating Unocal 76 stations to get an action color photograph. This week, Davy Lopes is featured, so stop in today.
Texas had some kind of day against the Cleveland Indians. 19-2 they beat them. The 19 runs was a club record. The 22 hits were a club record for 9 innings, and our old friend Tom Paciorek went 5 for 6. So the Mets gave him up for dead, but Tom is alive and well in Texas. Strike 3 called. Good slider, catches the outside corner. That'll bring up Scott Gereltz, who swings the bat pretty well. Laid down a good bunt in the 3rd inning. Moving along, Jose Uribe. Slider catches the outside corner for a strike. 5 in a row, retired by Sanderson.
Gereltz putting down that bunt in the 3rd, his 3rd sacrifice of the year. He's really come a long way in the past few months with his bunting.
Swings just a little late. And Will Clark in the on-deck circle with Dan Gladden had to skip the rope. I think Clark might want to sit down. In fact, that's what he's going to do.
I think he got it on the ricochet.
He figures it's too dangerous out there. He'll let Gladden stand up there. He's going to hide in the dugout.
Nice secure spot next to the manager, Roger Craig. It comes this way again, Skipper. I'm ducking.
Strike 3, a good slow curveball. Strikeout number 5 for Sanderson. And the top of the order in Dan Gladden, who's had absolutely no success with the Cubs this year. Career .263 hitter against Chicago. He's 0 for 2, flied out to center field in the first inning. Struck out looking in the third. Squares as if to bunt and takes one outside, 1-0. Does bunt this time and fouls it back. And just a week ago, we heard reports that Mike Young might be on the block in Seattle. They had moved him into the bullpen, but yesterday, the starting pitcher injured himself, and Young came on in relief through 7 innings, gave up 3 hits with 8 strikeouts, and got a win. Seattle flanking Milwaukee 6-0. Ronce in close at third. Leon Durham even with the bag at first. Strike 2, 1-2.
Sanderson making some good pitches here in the last 2 innings. Pretty good control now.
Popped it up. Leon Durham comes over, gives it a look. But it's back in the seats. This Giant ball club leads the National League in extra inning games. They've played 8 of them. They're 6-2 in extra innings. And that's a testament to that pitching staff. With all the injuries, it's just amazing what Roger Craig and Norm Sherry, the pitching coach, have done with this ball club. They've taken some guys that were poor pitchers last year and turned them around, and they might get a lift. Vita Blue seemed to throw the ball very well in pregame. Little batting practice before the game. He looked like he had good velocity. He's due to come off the list any day. Just misses with that slow curveball that he struck him out on in the 3rd inning. Count moves to 2-2.
You notice Gladden is not choking up nearly as much as he did in 1984.
That's a good point, because he hit the ball very well then, because he was just going to the opposite field and up the middle.
He had 351 in about 84 games with him that year. And then last year, I think, wound up hitting 243. He struggled, and he's down on that bat handle a lot more. He's almost at the very end now.
Long drive, curving foul. You know, the most dangerous thing for a little man is to think he's a home run hitter. And Dan Gladden has got to be a leadoff hitter. They're not paying him to hit the ball out of the ballpark. They're paying him for on-base percentage.
Yeah, and the one problem he has had throughout his career is hitting a lot of fly balls. With his speed, if he'd hit the ball down, he has the ability to bunt the ball already. He's a pretty good bunter. But if he'd hit the ball down and on a line all the time with his speed, there's no telling what kind of a hitter he might turn out to be.
Full count on Dan Gladden with 2 outs. Strike 3, he got him. 3 up and 3 down, 7 in a row retired by Sanderson. End of 4 1/2. The Giants lead 2-0.
Are your homeowner's insurance bills swallowing a little too much of your budget? There is something you can do about it.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Come into Allstate and compare.
I'll be in menswear.
We'll do everything we can to save you some money.
There you are, sir. Nice shirt. Well, thanks. Looks like I get to keep it. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Hello.
Jim, it's Tony.
You crazy? It's 9:30 at night.
Not crazy, happy. Thought you might want to join me for a Smooth Bush beer. We just won a big one.
We won ours today during normal business hours.
Great. So we'll celebrate both wins with a Bush. What do you say?
Well, some Smooth Bush would be a pleasant nightcap.
Hey, I'm buying.
You're buying.
It's my turn.
I'll be right over.
Hey, baseball fans, head for the mountains of Busch Beer.
Well, these are the best of times. So come on down to Heinz.
This week, Heinz lowers the price of paint, including BPS finest quality interior latex flat wall paint, just $8.99 a gallon. It's washable and covers in one coat. And save at Heinz on Simcoe 6-foot swinging patio doors, complete with screen lock set, deadbolt, and insulated tempered glass. Sale price, just $389.
Cause your money goes further when you go to Heinz.
Wild passions explode on the Wild River, starring Lee Remick and Montgomery Cliff. Tonight at 11:30 on Channel 9.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago National League Baseball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
Bobby Dernier to lead off the fifth inning. Cubs trying to get something going against Gerelts. Bobby drew a base on balls in the third.
One thing Roger Craig was trying to stress to Gerelts making the switch from the bullpen into the rotation is to alter his approach a little bit. Early, he was still trying to come out and just throw the ball as hard as he could. But it's a little different, as you know, Steve, a little different when you're starting a game.
2-1 count on Dernier. Tries to bunt. It's a good one. They let it roll. Fair ball, base hit.
Oh, it's nice to see Dernier bunt the ball. Let's take another look at this one. Right up that third base line, it stays fair. That's his second bunt hit this year. He's 2 out of 4 in attempting to bunt his way on.
No chance for Chris Brown. That was just a perfect bunt by Dernier. The only shot they had was to let it roll foul, and it hugged the line. So Scott Sanderson, who sacrificed in the third inning, has got an opportunity to do it again. Outfield around toward right center for Scott. There goes Dernier. No throw by Brenly. The pitch was down, and Bobby Dernier has the third Cubs stolen base.
It is a pretty good jump off Gerelts here. The pitch down, smothered by Brenly, and he decides to hold the ball as Dernier goes in head first.
After the play, there was a conference between Don Zimmer and Scott Sanderson. Well, you got to figure that Sanderson will be trying to lay the ball down the third baseline, make Chris Brown field it, and move Bobby Dernier over to third. 1-0 count. And he does. Good bunt. No play at third base. Gerelts has to throw to first. And for the second straight time, Sanderson sacrifices successfully. Try to say that fast 3 times.
Well, the Cubs are stealing bases and putting down the sacrifice. Bunting their way on. I think this is a great example of how valuable Dernier could be if he would bunt more. He bunts his way on, steals second, is sacrificed over to third. The Cubs are trying to manufacture a run here against the Giants.
Sean Dunston 0 for 2. Flied out to right field in the first inning. Tap back to the pitcher in the third. Giants going to concede the run. Infield is back. And Dunston takes one away. 1-0. Scott Gerelts has averaged 7 innings to start, despite the fact that he has only 1 complete game this year. So he sticks around a while when he goes to the mound. Foul back, good cut by Dunston. Count evens at 1-1. These two ball clubs split their series in San Francisco. The Giants winning a doubleheader on Sunday to even it up at 2-2. Last year, the series was split 6-6. And Jim Fry pacing nervously in the dugout. It'll pop up to left field. Jeff Leonard's got a great arm. Bobby Dernier tagging. The throw is high, but Dernier doesn't go on the arm of Leonard.
Well, the ball just not quite deep enough, and Leonard with that great arm. Dernier not testing it.
It's really a good thing he didn't. Even though the throw was high, it was pretty much right on the money. Bobby would have been a dead duck. That brings up Gary Matthews. He's been up twice and he's walked twice. Ryan Sandberg on deck. Cubs trailing 2-0, trying to get a run. Matthews ducks out of the way of a fastball. 1-0. Gary Matthews, probably the best eye on this ball club, and he will not swing at bad pitches. He said he learned that going to Philadelphia, talking with Joe Morgan and Pete Rose, and they talked to him about the importance of the on-base percentage. Ground ball in the hole. Uribe up with it. Long throw across, and he gets him. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. End of 5 full innings. The Giants still lead 2-0.
Stand by. Here's your hotline tip of the hour from the Comb Company. You see us in the Wall Street Journal. We take brand name closeouts and sell to our customers below dealer cost. Like the Interstate Radar Detector by Fox, a $240 value. Yours for just $118 from Comb. With super heterodyne circuitry, the Interstate by Fox was proven in lab tests to be as good or even better than comparable models by Cobra, Escort, and Whistler. Fox alerts you to radar up to 5 miles away, over hills, around curves. Interstate by Fox, a $240 value, just $118 now. How do you get one? Call this number. Give the operator your credit card, and we'll send it rush delivery. Don't wait. Call now.
Send your check or call 800-554-7000. Credit cards only by phone, 800-554-7000. For rush delivery, call now.
Of all the discerning people who buy Buicks, more buy Century than any other. Now, why is that? Is it because of Century's standard fuel injection and front-wheel drive? Or perhaps it's Century's distinctive style and unmistakable comfort? Actually, there are a lot of good reasons for buying a new Century, but the best one still is. You deserve it.
Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
Once we close on this rack, the secret treasure of the Golden Llama will be ours.
There's another way to uncover millions. Play Lotto.
Will Clark to lead off the 6th inning. Will Clark did a show in San Francisco along with Chris Brown. It was a radio show. And so the DJ said, I've gotten a lot of inquiries into what you guys look like from a lot of fans who might not know. And he looked at Chris Brown. He said, well, it's pretty easy to describe Chris Brown. He looks a lot like Ronnie Lott, tall, good-looking young man. Looked over at Will Clark and he said, Will Clark looks like Pee Wee Herman. So from now on, the whole ball club has been calling Will Clark Pee Wee Herman.
His nickname was Thrill, so it's gone from Thrill to Pee Wee.
In one short radio show. And there's a good look at young Will Clark. 0 for 1, grounded to second in the 1st inning, drew a base on balls in the 3rd. He said the toughest lesson that he's had to learn in the major leagues is patience. He doesn't want to swing at the pitcher's pitch. He tries to work him and get a good ball to hit. Off-speed curveball for a strike, and he said the Cubs have worked him more than any other club with that slow breaking ball. And they've held him down pretty well. Hitting about .210 against the Cubs this year. Fastball misses up and in, and the count evens at 1-1.
Well, they saw a lot of fastballs early, and then a lot of clubs started pitching him away with the off-speed stuff.
Away with the breaking ball, 2-1. He's one of the young men that elected to go to college instead of sign a pro contract. He was drafted by the Kansas City Royals. He was the 4th selection. Brett Saberhagen was drafted in the 19th round. That paid dividends for the Royals. All he did was win the Cy Young Award last year. Another curveball misses, and it's 3-1, and now Sanderson has got to be careful. He fell behind Chili Davis. Came to him with a 2-0 fastball in the 2nd inning, and Davis hit it out of the ballpark. 3-1 count. Long drive to left. Gary Matthews going over in the corner on the run. And the Sarge can't get to the ball. It bounces around in the corner. Will Clark on his way to third. Here comes the throw. It's off the mark, and Clark has a triple.
So that's his 2nd of the year. A lot of power the other way on that 3-1 pitch. Here's the pitch. Fastball tailing away from him, and he went the other way with it. Back into the corner. He takes advantage of the ball bouncing around. Clark showing good speed and aggressive base running. Moves into third with a triple.
This shows you the development of this young man. He doesn't try to pull that outside pitch. He goes right with it. It shows you enormous power into the wind to the opposite field. And now Chris Brown steps up. He's 1 for 2, an RBI single in the 3rd inning. This man's hit close to 400 with runners in scoring position over the last 2 years. He has become a tough out. Off-speed pitch misses outside.
Brown's one of these fellows who has gotten a little better as the competition improves at each level. Don't you know that Clark, so far this year, has to be a hitting instructor's dream? Young guy, 22, and to do the things that he's done so far.
Tries to check his swing and takes a breaking ball for a strike count. Evens at 1-1. Infield in at all 4 positions. They want to cut off the run at the plate. Brown with 2 home runs, 17 RBIs, hitting close to 300 against the Cubs' lifetime. He seems to shorten his swing with runners in scoring position. Appeal to first base. Harry Wendelstedt says no. 2-1 count. Tough situation for Scott Sanderson. He trails 2-0. Giants on the verge of making it 3. Ground ball right at Dunston. That'll freeze Clark at third base. Dunston fires across for out number 1.
Breaking ball down as grounds out to the shortstop, Dunston. Something of a routine play, but it was nice to see Dunston make the play the way he did. He came up with a ball, very carefully checked the runner over at third, made the routine throw to first.
That'll bring up dangerous Jeff Leonard. He's 0 for 2. Sanderson has handled him well. Popped up to second, struck out swinging. Looks bad on the off-speed breaking ball. Leonard with 5 home runs, 22 RBIs, and a .314 batting average coming in.
And that 5th home run came off Sanderson, we remember, in San Francisco.
Leonard had a bone bruise on his hand. He had his 12-game hitting streak snapped last Friday. Then he sat out Sunday's game with that bone bruise, but he's back in the lineup today. You never know how a hand injury will affect a hitter. Another off-speed curveball. 0-2.
You can tell by the way Sanderson is working Leonard. Cubs well aware that Leonard loves the fastball.
Leonard's 5th home run of the year came off none other than Scott Sanderson. Chili Davis on deck. Ball gets by Jody Davis, and Will Clark is going to score, and it should be called a wild pitch, and is. So trying to be careful with an 0-2 count and waste one. Scotty threw the ball down.
There it is. Sanderson had gotten out in front of him 0-2 with a breaking ball and then uncorked the wild pitch here. That's his first of the year.
Now the infield will move back to the regular positions, and Scott Sanderson mighty upset on the mound. Boy, you don't expect that from him. He usually has such very good control. Jeff Leonard now with the bases empty and a 1-2 count. Ball misses inside. 2-2. Giants with a single run in the second, another in the third, and one here in the sixth. They lead 3-0. Another curveball. Full count. Jeff Leonard looking at a steady diet of slow breaking pitches. Fastball misses, and Leonard's aboard. Jody Davis should go out there and talk with him and just settle him down. I think he's visibly upset by that wild pitch. Now Sean Dunston comes in, and there you look at Jim Fry on the bench. You got to get your composure back. It's only 3-0. This ball game isn't out of hand yet, and you don't want to let it get out of hand, especially facing a tough hitter like Chili Davis, who's 1 for 2 with a home run. Chili's just pounded the Cubs over the years, hitting close to .330 against them lifetime. Leonard a good lead at first, and he's a good base runner. And Scott Sanderson throws over there. Leonard with 4 stolen bases. He is yet to be thrown out. Remember, Roger Craig does favor the hit and run. He used it successfully many times in Candlestick Park. Runner goes. Ground ball to Dunston. He's up with it, has one play. That's at first base, and throws him out by a step.
Dunston had to recover, and Leonard was breaking away from first, and with the left-hander hitting Davis up there, Dunston was on his way to the bag. Here it is, the ground ball by Davis. Sean had to go back a couple steps, come up with the ball, and make the throw to first.
That brings up Bob Brenly, who's 0 for 2. .227 batting average at this point. Not what Brenly would like. Checks his swing, but takes a fastball over the outside corner. Outfield straight away for Brenly. Leon Durham well off the first baseline. Ryan Sandberg playing Brenly up the middle. Fouls off a breaking ball, and Brenly's in a hole 0-2. Leonard is getting an enormous lead at second base with Sean Dunston over toward the hole, and nobody has chased him back yet. Foul back. Jody Davis takes a look up, but it's back in the seats. So the count holds at 0-2. Rob Thompson on deck. Sanderson has thrown a lot of pitches here through 6. Something Jim Fry and Billy Connors will have to keep in mind. You look once again at Jeff Leonard. An enormous lead at second base. There's the situation. Sanderson trying to stop the Giants right here. And he takes too much time, so Bob Brenly asks for timeout and steps out of the box. Sanderson slowing it way down once again. Just missing outside, 1-2.
Sanderson takes so much time between pitches here in this situation. Ahead on the count, throwing Brenly the breaking ball off the plate, hoping that Brenly might be a little over anxious and chase the pitch.
Another off-speed breaking ball misses. Well, one thing about leading the league in walks, you're not going to be too over anxious.
You know, Brenly 2 years ago was a very patient hitter. Last year was just the opposite. He was a little more aggressive. And this year he's gone back the other way.
Last year, Bob Brenly hit 19 home runs, showed a lot of power for the Giants. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Strike 3, he got him looking. The 7th strikeout by Sanderson. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. End of 5 1/2. Giants on top, 3-0.
Builder Square, where you're guaranteed the lowest prices on home improvement on every item every day. 5 convenient Chicago area locations to serve you.
Another sizzling summer's coming. It's time to stock up on the cool, crisp taste of Budweiser and Bud Light. So pick a pair of 6-packs, 12-packs, or even cases, and look for our special pick-a-pair offer wherever you see this display. Then send for a Fun in the Sun umbrella for 2.
And now, the Chicago Tribune's Tales from the Upper Deck.
You know, I've been wondering, how come there's no female Cubbies? Yeah. It says right here in the Trib that the Cubs have more female fans than any other team. Yeah. You know, if I was you guys, I'd go down there to Dallas Green. I say, hey, Dallas, how about let's put in a woman on the team, huh? Yeah. Well, while you're down there, would you mind picking me up a Polish, please? Oh. Hey, what'd I say? Huh?
They call him the King because Richard Petty knows what it takes to win.
Going into the last lap, there's no better place to be than in second. Then, if you slingshot at just the right moment, you could be the winner.
Winning, it's a part of men like Richard Petty.
And that winning spirit has helped Union 76 fuel more winners than anyone else. That winning quality rides with you every time you ride out of a Union 76 station.
Go with the spirit.
The winning spirit.
The spirit of 76.
It's a musical. It's a drama. It's a love story. Starring Jessica Lange, Ben Vereen, and Roy Scheider. All that jazz.
Showtime, folks.
It's going to be Sandberg, Moreland, and Durham to face Scott Gereltz in the 6th inning for the Cubs. Well, you don't see a smile on the face of Yosh Kawano too often, but you do when he talks about his good friend, Ray Floyd. Ray, a big Cub fan, watching in Indian Creek Island, Florida. I think if Yosh could, he'd probably leave the clubhouse and caddy a few tournaments for Ray. Sandberg 0 for 2, grounded into a double play and popped up. And he looks at a breaking ball away. The Cubs have managed 3 singles off Scott Gereltz, who's been a tough customer here this afternoon. Infield way back on the left side. They play Sandberg to pull. Sliced into the corner in right field. Chili Davis under this one, and he makes the catch, battling the win.
That ball slicing away from Chili Davis, and despite the fact that the wind has been blowing in from right field, that ball is tailing a little bit to the right side, back toward the corner as well. Now, it'll do that with the slice on it, but the wind has caught a couple fly balls and moved it over there, and there you see Davis running toward the corner, and he makes the catch.
Keith Moreland is 0 for 2. He flied out and grounded out. To the fastball high and away, 1-0. Moreland's average dipped to 275. catches the outside corner. Keith is second on the team in RBIs with 15. He trails Sandberg by 1. Leon Durham on deck. High chopper over the middle. Rob Thompson up with it. Fires across and gets him for out number 2.
Thompson, a very good-looking infielder here for the San Francisco Giants, only 23 years old. He gets a very good break on almost every ground ball that's hit his way.
Roger Craig has said that Rob Thompson is never out of position. That's the one thing he likes about him. He knows all the cutoff plays, exactly where to be, and has great presence on the field. Leon Durham is 2 for 2, and he's been the only one who has gotten a good swing off Scott Garrelts. Looks at a breaking ball away. Once again, Dwayne, I've got to question 8 right-handed hitters against Scott Garrelts, a tough right-handed pitcher. And I don't think it's any coincidence it's a one man who's gotten a couple hits off him has been the only left-hander in the lineup. I don't think you can consistently go against tough right-handers with 8 right-hand hitters in the lineup and expect to do very well.
And especially if that right-hander has a pretty fair slider. And Garrelts at times today has shown us a good slider.
Top hop for Will Clark. Leon Durham aboard at first base. That's a tough play, but it'll probably go as an error, a play that Will Clark should have made.
Take another look at this hopper hit by Leon Durham. The ball coming up on Will Clark. Got him on the right wrist. That'll be an error. I'd like to mention that this is another one of the community spirit days here for the Cubs. 1,000 people in attendance, guest of Pioneer Bank.
Only the second error of the year for Will Clark, and Ron Say steps in. He's 0 for 2. Flied to left and struck out swinging. Long drive to left, but it's hooking foul.
Now, we mentioned the last time Say was up there. He has 2 home runs this year off Garrelts and a grand slam earlier in his career.
Giants are a pretty balanced ball club. They're 6th in the league in hitting. They're 6th in the league in pitching. And that's a radical departure from last year's pitching. Garrelts keeping a close eye on Leon Durham. Good look at the Penguin. Concentration on his face as he looks out at Scott Garrelts, but Garrelts took a little too much time. Outfield very deep for Ron Say. Count evens at 1-1.
The one lesson Roger Craig tried to make to Scott Garrelts is that every pitch should have a purpose. He's just not out there throwing the ball. As a good catcher will help develop a young pitcher in that area.
Catching the outside corner, 1-2. The fans, along with Ron Say, not too happy with that call. Once again to left, but curving foul. That time Garrelts missed with the slider. He got too much of the plate with it, and Ron Say around a little too quickly. Much of a lead at first base by Leon Durham, but Garrelts pushes him back. You got to figure the slider's coming right here from Garrelts. And Garrelts taking a whole lot of time here, so Penguin steps out again. You see Ronnie with that right hand bandage. He was hit by a pitch from Andy McGath again. got him on the slider. Well, no runs, no hits, one error, one left. Harry's coming back. Wayne, it's been a pleasure.
We'll see you soon.
And the 6th, 3-0 Giants.
Carry back at Wrigley Field. We're going into the top of the 7th. Giants are out in front. 3-0. You're watching Chicago Cubs baseball over WGN Channel 9, Chicago, America's #1 sports station. Boy, this Roger Craig has done some job with the Giants pitching staff.
Well, he has, Harry. He's had so many injuries, and now the arm of Mike Krukow is in question. He was flown back to San Francisco. When you've lost Atlee Hammaker for what looks like the year, and you've got one of your starters, Vida Blue, on the DL, you have to look around to see who's going to start games for you. He has done an outstanding job.
Here we go on the top of the 7th. Rob Thompson, the second baseman, 0 for 2 today. Leading it off the pitch. Curveball outside. George Justak here with a group of 100 from Whiting, Indiana.
Did George pay for all those tickets?
Oh, yes. Provided the bus, too. Here's the pitch, swung and missed.
George Fraser now loosening up in the bullpen. Sanderson due up 3rd next inning.
A ball and a strike. Here's the pitch. It's good enough for a strike call. Sanderson with 7 strikeouts today. He's walked 3. One of them led into a run. The other 2 were as a result of the long ball. 1 and 2 to pitch. Ground ball to say he's got it and throws in time for the out. 1 away. Sanderson has pitched a creditable ball game himself.
Ponce fields this ball well. Watch his hands. They're out in front of him. He's picking his own hop. He doesn't keep his hands back and let the ball play him. And in this play, the Penguin played it perfectly.
1 away. The long ball provided by the Giants was a home run with one out, far over the right field wall up against the house by Chili Davis in the 2nd. Then a leadoff triple into the left field corner by Will Clark that led to a run in the 6th. Jose Uribe, the shortstop up there. 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Fastball is low. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitcher, Scott Gereltz, will be next. 2 balls, no strikes. The delivery swung on. A high pop foul. Jody Davis coming over. Out of play. Of the 3 hits the Cubs have had, 1 was a bunt by Dernier, and the other 2 were base hits by Leon Durham, the only left-hand hitting batter in the Cub lineup today. I imagine we'll see some left-hand hitters coming off the bench. Because Gereltz has proven awfully tough on the right-handers. 1 out, nobody on. Uribe waiting. Fouled it back. 2 and 2 to count. The outfield is budged towards center. Boy, there's been very little to get excited about so far. This Gereltz has just stopped the Cubs cold. Here's a curve, strike call. Strikeout number 8. That's the most that Sanderson has fanned in a game this year. 8.
He's had an outstanding breaking ball, and more times than not, he's left them standing right there. Sanderson starting to get everything over the plate.
Here's Gereltz. He sacrificed and struck out. There's a fastball in there. A strike is called. 2 men out, nobody on. 7th inning. Giants are leading 3-0. Fastball swung on. Dunston charges it. Fires to first for the out. Boy, Garrelts, for a big man, can really get down that line in a hurry. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs trail 3-0. All right, let me hear you. Let's get something started. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Bye. Evens to the ball and a strike. Davis is fanned twice, each time with a man in scoring position. Garrelts has struck out 4. He got Say twice and Jody twice. There's a bouncing ball. That'll be an easy out. Rob Thompson over to first base. 1 away. Here's Bobby Dernier coming out.
Here's today's great attendance.
17,127 paid here today. Dernier's walked and beat out a bunt. Terry Francona is going to be the pinch hitter. Dernier, a high pop foul over into the stands. Will Clark makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Francona, one of several left-hand hitters the Cubs have sitting on their bench. Comes out to pinch hit here for Scott Sanderson, who pitched 7 good innings.
Francona hitting .250, 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter this year. Had a very good series against San Francisco in San Francisco, but all of those games as a starter.
Well, you know, it's unfortunate. Sanderson is years high in strikeouts, 8 today. He walked 3, allowed only 3 hits, but one was a homer and one was a triple. So here's Francona, 2 away. Giants trying for the 3rd shutout of the year. Francona takes the pitch low. Cubs trying to avert their 5th shutout of the year. Giants as a team have been blanked only once. There's a high fly ball in the center field, going to be caught. Dan Gladden's there. And boy, this inning went in a hurry. At the end of 7, it remains Giants 3, Cubs nothing. We go to the top of the 8th. George Frazier, the new pitcher.
Frazier 1-2, 3.78 ERA. It's been coming down lately, making his 12th appearance. No save, 16 2/3, 17 hits and 7 earned runs.
Here's Dan Gladden, the first pitch in there for a strike call. In other games this afternoon, Montreal beat Cincinnati 4-2. The only other game in the National League, everybody else tonight. There's a strike call. He's in the hole. The Yankees of Minnesota beat the Twins 6-4, the only game played. in the American League. Everybody else tonight. It's gotten darker and cooler here. Final game of the series tomorrow afternoon. Fastball a little bit low. Nobody on, nobody out. Dan Gladden leading it off.
Mark Davis now starts to loosen up in the bullpen for the Giants.
Breaking ball low and wide. And the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three to nothing, Giants. Wide, ball 3. Frazier started out in front, 0-2. Now he's down to 3-2. Gladden, only 1 out of 17 for the year against the Cubs. Ground ball up the middle. Big hop. Sandberg's got it. Throws in time. A nice play by the Bull. The throw was low and wide. And watch this split by the Bull.
Jose Morales complaining that Leon Durham was off the bag. It's a good hop. Comes right up to Sandberg. He hurries his throw and watch the Bull. Nice acrobatic pickup. And Harry Wendelstedt right on the play says the Bull did indeed keep his foot on the bag. Good play by Leon Durham.
Here's Will Clark, 22-year-old first baseman out of Mississippi State. It's 59 degrees on the lakefront right now, 70 degrees at O'Hare. Boy, there's a difference of 11 degrees. The other day here, there was a disparity of 18 degrees between O'Hare and the lakefront. The wind's out of the east now at 13. 1 out, nobody on, 8th inning. Final game of the homestand tomorrow. There it is. Right at 60 degrees on the ramp. 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball in there, that evens it up, a ball and a strike. Final game of the homestand tomorrow. Then Thursday night, the Cubs will be in Des Moines. Here's a pitch foul out of play for an exhibition game against the Iowa Farm Club.
You look beautiful in red.
I'll get your jacket like that, Artie. You don't have to con me. 1-2 the count. He struck him out. Clark goes down swinging. Got to bring up Chris Brown. He drove in a run the 3rd.
Good split finger fastball by George Fraser. The bottom falls out of this one, and he completely fools Will Clark.
How can you tell the difference between a split finger fastball and a spitball?
They look remarkably the same, Harry.
I think a lot of these guys are throwing spitballs.
Under the guise of the split finger fastball?
Absolutely. You give all the publicity about split finger fastball, and the umpires believe it. But you keep writing about a spitball like they did about Frazier last year, and right away the umpires begin to put the heat on. 0-1 the count, 2 out, nobody on. 3-0. The Cubs are going to have to do it the hard way. Swings and he misses. Chris Brown hitting .323. We're in the top of the 8th. I wonder how much territory Marla Collins covers during the course of a ball game. There's a pitch tapped. If it stays fair, he'll beat it out. Base hit for Brown. With 2 away, here's Jeff Leonard. Leonard's been held in check today. Popped up and he struck out, then he walked.
They're talking with Roger Craig. I think Craig might want to get an extra run right here. He might be telling Leonard to take a pitch, give Chris Brown a chance to steal. They realize George Fraser just doesn't deliver the ball too quickly to home plate. So it might not be a bad idea to throw a pitch out.
2 men are out, a runner at first base. Jeff Leonard, the hack man up there. Frazier working slowly, throws to first base.
Brown has stolen 3 bases this year. He has not been thrown out yet.
Leonard originally signed with the Dodgers. There's a pitch getting away from Jody Davis. The runner advances to second base. Let's see whether they're going to call that a wild pitch or a fast ball. It looked like it just went right through his glove. See, right out of his glove. Has to be a pass ball.
Pass ball.
That's the ruling. So Leonard now with a man in scoring position. 2 men are out. 3-0. The Giants are out in front. The Cubs won the first 2 games played in San Francisco. And then the Giants came back, won a doubleheader on Sunday. Now they're trying to make it 3 in a row over the Cubs. There's a ground ball to the right, a base hit. A run will score. And it's 4-0. Leonard single to right. Driving in his 23rd run of the year.
The inside outs this ball. Take a look at it. Sandberg playing him up the middle. There you can see the inside out swing. And another giant run.
Frazier now has been in 11 games. Pitched 16 2/3 innings. Allowed 17 hits and 8 runs. Chili Davis, who started it all with a home run with 1 out in the second inning. A tremendous home run that cleared the right field wall and landed in the yard across the street. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner back.
This would only be the 2nd game-winning RBI for Chili Davis. The team leader in that department is Jeff Leonard with 5. Chris Brown and Will Clark have 4 each.
Frazier's pitch. There goes the runner. Swung on, ground ball to the second baseman. That'll end the inning. 1 run, 2 hits. No errors, but the run is unearned on the pass ball. And 1 left. We move in the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs trail 4-0. Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. We go in the bottom of the 8th, and the top of the batting order is coming up. And if the Cubs are going to make a move, now's the time. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Giants have made singleton runs in the 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 8th. They've availed themselves of every opportunity, it seems like. Here's Dunston 0 for 3. Morel's pitches in there for a strike call. Dunston in a little bit of a slump. 0 for his last 8. 0 for his last 11. A ball and a strike. Gurelt's fanned 4, walked 3. Allowed only 3 hits, 2 of them by Leon Durham.
Jeff Robinson now up and throwing in the bullpen. Gureltz has only completed 1 game, and with that in mind, Craig has the bullpen busy.
Here's a pitch foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, with pitching being such a big part of the game, I'm surprised more pitchers haven't become managers, because it would seem the greatest knack. Here's a pitch line, right field base hit. Dunston singles to right. It seems the greatest prerequisite for a good manager is the ability to handle pitching. And it would seem that pitchers would know that better than anybody.
Roger Craig seems to know it pretty well, Harry, and strangely enough, it seems that catchers make pretty good managers. There's enough of them around managing Major League clubs.
There's Matthews now. He's walked twice and rolled out. Fouls it back. Well, the right hitters are coming up. Dunston broke an 0 for 11 slump with the line single to right. Now we got Matthews up there. Fastball wide. The count is even at a ball and a strike.
Now Mark Davis has joined Jeff Robinson in the bullpen, so they've got a right-hander and a left-hander up.
Davis has had a lot of trouble against the Cubs. High, ball two. 2 balls and a strike. Runner at first, nobody out.
Everything that Gereltz is missing with is up. It's a sign of a tiring pitcher. Roger Craig will have to keep a close eye on him.
Now Gereltz is ready. He might have been helped on that swing. It looked like it was high. The Sarge fouled it back. Two and two to count. It's gotten dark, and it's cool now at Wrigley Field. 2-2 delivery. Ball game in the 8th. Giants leading 4-0. There's a drive. Way back. It may be. It could be. Hey! Holy cow. The Sarge did it.
Home run number 2 for Gary Matthews. RBIs 6 and 7, and the Sarge cuts the lead in half.
And the crowd giving him a big hand. It looked like he hit a split-finger fastball that stayed up. And he really creamed it. Now the Cubs trail only by 2.
Here comes Roger Craig, and I got to believe that's going to be all for Scott Gereltz, who got everything up this inning, and it cost him.
They're already indicated a new pitcher's coming in. We'll show you that home run again following this message.
On the next Barney Miller, Barney fights City Hall and winds up on the other.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. That's Jeff Robinson getting ready. We're going to show you this home run again. See it hung up there, and the Sarge really got all of it.
Watch it again from the scoreboard camera. Right up in his eyes. See you later. And
now it's a 4-2 ball game.
Jeff Robinson comes into the game. He's 2-0, 3.48 ERA. This is his 14th appearance. He's got 3 saves. That ties him for the team lead with Greg Minton. In 20 2/3 innings, he's given up 18 hits and 8 earned runs. Has yet to be touched for a home run. He's walked 14, which is a high number, but he struck out 23 in 20 2/3 innings. So he's got pretty good stuff. He throws hard, and he's got a good hard slider to go with that fastball, right around 90 miles an hour.
It's been the cardiac Cubs. The last 8 games they've won, they've come from behind to win them. Here's Sandberg. There's a drive, but it's going to go in the foul territory. He jumped on the first pitch. Sandberg 0 for 3 today. Keith Moreland on deck.
Now Greg Minton has joined Mark Davis in the bullpen.
There's a line drive, and it is a base hit. Sandberg signals the center. So Jeff Robinson is greeted with a base hit. The tying run is coming to to the plate in the person of Keith Moreland. And the Cubs, after lying dormant for 7 innings, have come to life here in the 8th. They're getting Mark Davis ready for Leon Durham. Oh, boy, Zonk had a home run cut at that. 0-1 the count. Jeff Robinson, who's 1-2 and saved 3 so far out of their 18 victories. Low, good save by Bob Brunley. Button up your overcoat. Let the winds blow free. Take good care of yourself. You belong to me. Oh, he had a cut and he missed. 1-2 the count. You had the wrong mic, huh, Arnie?
He wants you to sing farther away.
Yeah. 1-2 the count.
Like in Gary.
You guys know how to hurt a fella. Base hit! The tying runs are on. Moreland, behind on the count, singles the center.
Keith just cut his swing in half and stayed with that breaking ball down and drove it right back up the middle. Good piece of hitting by Moreland. Watch this. It's a slider down. He just drives a single to center field, and he's got to be as good a 2-strike hitter as there is in the game.
Now, here comes Roger Craig, the manager of the Giants. He's had that left-hander, Mark Davis, getting ready just for this situation. And Davis is coming in. We'll tell you more about him following this. Harry Carey back in Wrigley Field. You're looking at a moment ago at Mark Davis. And now Leon Durham was talking to the Cubs skipper, Jim Fry. It could very well be he might want Durham to bunt here against the left-hander to get the tying runs and scoring position. Now we got Davey Lopes going to hit for him. That's what that was all about.
I don't think Leon Durham is too happy with the move, but Jim Fry is playing percentages. A tough left-hander on the mound, and Mark Davis, 1-2, 2.53 ERA, making his 17th team-leading appearance. He's got 2 saves and 21 in the 3rd innings. He's given up 16 hits and 6 earned runs on 1 homer. He's walked 6. He's struck out 22. And Jim Fry came over to Leon Durham and said, look, this is a percentage move, and I know that it's got to be tough on you to be pinch hit for, but we got to get some runs and win this ball game. So Davey Lopes up there, and he's a good butter, a good handler of the bat. Let's see what he can do. Davis has retired the last 7 men he's faced over 3 appearances.
Runners at first and second, nobody out. Davey Lopes, the hitter, batting for Leon Durham. Fastball is high. Lopes hit his first homer of the year the other day, hitting .237, 1 homer, 5 RBI. He squared around the bunt on the first pitch, which was high for a ball.
Chris Brown has got to hang back at 3rd. You got a good base runner at 2nd base in Ryan Sandberg. So Lopes could conceivably bunt for a base hit if he can get it down the 3rd baseline.
Strike call. Lopes thought it was blowing outside. He wanted that call to be a hit on the count. Ball and a strike. He's got a moving infield in case he switches off the bunt.
Will Clark charging very hard at first base. Lopes will have to get it down 3rd.
He does. Too hard, though. Wow! Another runner going to 3rd. Nobody out. Cubs trail 4-3. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Holy cow. Mark Davis had a sure force out and threw it nowhere near the bag. Watch this.
This is his 2nd error of the year, and watch Mark Davis. The ball's bunted too hard, but Davis just throws it well off the mark. Davey Lopes alertly going into 2nd base because nobody's covering, and the Cubs are in business.
So it's a sacrifice. Well, I don't know. They got to give Mark Davis an error, that's for sure. Here now is save. And here comes Roger Craig out again. And Greg Minton is going to be the third pitcher in the last 30 seconds.
The most amazing thing about this performance by Mark Davis is that he dug himself into a hole, and he might receive the loss here because the go-ahead run belongs to Mark Davis at second base in the person of Davy Lopes. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Look at that earned run average.
Minton 1-2 with a high 4.95 ERA, making his 13th appearance. He's got 3 saves in 20 innings. He's given up 18 hits, but he's given up 11 earned runs on 2 homers. He's walked 11. He's only struck out 10. He's a sinker ball pitcher. That's his best pitch. He does throw a slow breaking ball, and he's got a tough assignment. The game is on the bases for the Cubs.
Jody Davis is on deck. Here's Say, who fanned twice and popped up against Garrelts. Let's see how they're going to play it. The infield is in.
Lee Smith and Jay Baller warming up in the bullpen for the Cubs.
Nobody out. Runners are at second and third. Cubs are trailing 4-3. They were shut out for 7 innings on only 3 hits, 2 of them by Leon Durham, who went out for a pinch hitter, Davy Lopes, who laid down the most important play of the whole game. A bunt on which a run scored, and runners wound up at second and third with nobody out. They're going to pitch to Say. Swings and he fouls it off. Say, they give him all the right field, and the infield is in. But he was trying to pull that ball. Greg Minton, who has a good sinker and a slider. Veteran right-hander.
Chuck Hensley now up in the bullpen along with Bill Lasky for the Giants.
Minton, 35 years old. The pitch to Say. That evens a count at a ball and a strike. The Cardiac Cubs, in their last 8 victories, they've had to come from behind each time. A ball and a strike. Oh, right in there. Oh, he's waiting for an Allen. Gee, it does. Fastball right down the middle, just above the knees. 1-2 the count. Minton is set. Bouncing ball up the middle. A base hit. Cubs lead. Cubs lead. Cubs lead. The Penguin bounce one right back up the middle.
With the infield drawn in, you become a much better hitter, and Ron Say continues to torment the Giants. He's always hit so very well against him. RBIs number 8 and 9 for Ron Say, a bouncer right back up the middle. This would have been caught, but not with the infield in. And the Cubs go on top in a game that would be an outstanding victory.
Here's Jody Davis now. The Cubs have taken the lead. They've already scored 5, and there's still nobody out. And Scott Garrelts must be kicking things around in the clubhouse. He pitched a masterful ball game. Scott Sanderson is off the hook, and he pitched well himself.
Jody might think about bunting for a base hit. Chris Brown is very deep at third base, and Jody occasionally lays down a pretty good bunt.
The pitch by Minton. He was going to bunt. The strike is called. Mark Davis, who faced only one man, Davy Lopes, who bunted, and Davis threw the ball away, is the pitcher of record now, and George Frazier for the Cubs. He bunts, but he bunts it poorly. Yeah, sure. As soon as I started to sing, button up your overcoat, let the winds blow free, things began to happen.
Yeah, it got colder.
Yeah, it did get colder. I'll tell you one thing, I bet it's not so cold in that giant clubhouse right now. 0-2 the count. Curve into the dirt. Boy, oh boy, how this game turned around. They had just added another insurance run off Frazier in the 8th to lead 4-0. A single by Dunston, a homer by Matthews made it 4-2, and Gereltz went out. Jeff Robinson came in. Sandberg and Moreland got base hit. He went out. There goes the runner, swung and foul out of play. Jeff Robinson went out after Sandberg and Moreland put the tying runs on base. There you see the Sarge. His home run started things going. That's when Mark Davis came in. Lopes batted for Durham and bunted down the third baseline, or not even down the third baseline, a few feet to the third base side of the mound. A sure force out, and Mark Davis threw the ball almost into the stand. You know, he's only about 30 feet from the third baseman. How could you throw the ball that wildly, that short a distance? 1-2 the count. Into the dirt, a wild pitch. Here goes the runner around his second base. The ball bounces around, and the Penguin will have to stop at second base. I think it wound up in the stands, didn't it?
It was a 58-foot sinker from Greg Minton. No chance for Bob Brenly. This ball hits off the corner of the plate. And it's touched by a fan, so the Penguin stays at second.
2 balls, 2 strikes. It looked like that wild pitch bounced up and hit Brenly on the mask, and then deflected over towards the stand. Now let's see if Jody could get him to third at least, if not drive him home. Still nobody out. 6 men have batted. 5 have scored, and the other one's at second base with nobody out. He tried to hit the right. He tried to do the job. Fouled it off. You can see Jody just trying to guide the ball towards the first base side. That's a big insurance run. Cubs lead 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Lee Smith will be coming in for the save. Ball outside. There's Smitty. This is 7th man to bat in the inning. 5 have scored, and the other one's on base. 3-2 pitch to Jody Davis. Bouncing ball will get Say to third. Thompson throws Jody out, but he did the job. He got that insurance runner at third base with only 1 out. And here's Bobby Dernier. Say now is going to be taken out for Manny Trio.
Bobby Dernier in a conference with Don Zimmer, and credit Jody Davis with an outstanding at-bat. He got the job done, and there's a happy Penguin in the dugout getting congratulations all the way around, and Leon Durham taken out for a pinch hitter, still congratulating his teammate. Pretty good effort here in the 8th inning. And after the conference with Don Zimmer, you got to figure with the infield in, there is a possibility of the suicide.
Say with a chance at his first game-winning hit of the year. Here's Bobby Dernier. The infield is in. Everybody is thinking squeeze play. Minton delivers. Inside, ball one. Infield in. Dernier takes a look at Don Zimmer. Coaching in third. Zimmer says something now to Manny Trio. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch out, almost threw it away. Trio, the runner at third base, 2 balls, no strikes now.
Jerry Mumphrey in the on-deck circle. Bobby already has 1 base hit via the bunt.
A big insurance run to pick up at third base. Swung and he missed. The foul tipped. 2 balls and a strike. The Cardiac Cubs. More perils than Pauline. 2 balls and a strike. After being completely dormant for 7 innings, they arose in a lead-taking furor and fury in the 8th. 2 balls and a strike. The squeeze is on, and they pitched out, and Trio's caught and tagged out. Well, Dernier tried his best. The Giants guessed right with him. They pitched out. Dernier tried to make contact to at least foul it off.
Bobby throws his bat at the ball, but it's in vain. And then the Giants execute the rundown very well. Only 1 throw, and that's ideal. Manny Trio, no match for the speed of Chris Brown.
So there's 2 out now, nobody on. The Cubs still lead 5-4. But they won't have that extra run that they so badly wanted. 2-2 to count. Fouls it off. Ahead on the count, 2-1. The Cubs gambled that Minton would not pitch out, thus running the count to 3-1. But you got to give the Giants credit. They did dare do that. And as a result, they trapped Manny Trio. 2-2. Ball 3, a breaking ball. The Cubs have scored 5 here in the 8th. Ron Say put him ahead with a bouncing single up the middle. Bouncing ball to Chris Brown. Throws for the out. 5 runs in the inning. 5 hits. 1 error, nobody left. At the end of 8, the Cardiac Cubs 5, the Giants 4. Chris Spire comes in to play third base. He'll be batting 9th in the batting order. Manny Trio is now playing first base. And Lee Smith comes in shooting for his 5th save of the year.
Smitty's 2-2, 3.86 ERA, making his 10th appearance. Finished 8 games, saved 4, 11 2/3 innings. He's given up 8 hits and 5 earned runs on 1 homer. He's walked 8. He's struck out 12.
Boy, never a dull ball game at Wrigley Field, is there? Every day it seems like it's a 1-run ball game. The Cubs were dead for 7 innings, 4-0. Scott Garrelts was just magnificent, shooting for a shutout. All of a sudden, boom, bang, pop, wow, smash. 5 runs in. And a very, very important little bunt. Here's Brindley. Line drive into right center field on the first pitch. There's Brindley trying for second to throw. Now he stopped. Going back to first.
Good play by Bobby Dernier. He flipped the ball to Moreland. Watch this play. Dernier realizes he's going away from the play, and Bob Brenly is thinking about 2 bases. Bobby comes over. Now he flips the ball to Keith, who's got the good angle on the throw, and it keeps Brenly at first base. What a heads-up play by Bobby Dernier.
Boy, I should say, and Moreland's throw kept Brenly at first base rather than the double it looked as if he might wind up with. Now here's Rob Thompson. Brenly hit the very first pitch and hit it hard. So the tying run is on with nobody out.
Spiers got to move in at third. Thompson, a good handler of the bat. This is a bunt situation.
Smith's pitch. He's going to bunt. Strike at the knees call. Manny Trio charging in off first base, too.
They've got another catcher in Bob Melvin. I'm kind of surprised that they don't pinch run for Brenly, who doesn't run very well. This is the tying run in a big ball game. When you're on the road, you got to have everything going for you.
1 strike and nothing. He bunts, but it's foul, and now he's ahead of him. 0-2. Now the Cubs are hoping for a good old 6-4-3 double play. Or 4-6-3. Or 5-4-3. Or anything that eliminates 2 men at one time.
2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned, 1 strikeout.
0-2 the count. Rob Thompson. 0 for 3 today. Brenly a lead. He bunts right back to the mound. Oh, he fumbled. Recovers throw. Boy, he had a sure play at second base. And maybe a double play. But he fumbled the ball, and it's fortunate that he was able to recover it and make a play.
This is bunted too hard, and there's no doubt that Smitty has a play at second on Brenly. But he bobbles the ball. Unfortunately, Thompson fell down. He slipped a couple of times. And the sacrifice is accomplished.
That's why he would have had the double play. Thompson had trouble getting away from the plate. Slipped and went to his knee. Golden, Brad Golden, a catcher, a left-hand hitter, is going to bat for Uribe.
There you take a look at Brad Golden. He's been around a long time with Seattle, the Reds, the Yankees. And he comes up now hitting 100. He's 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter.
The tying run is at second base with 1 out. You're watching Chicago Cubs baseball over WGN Channel 9, Chicago, America's #1 sports station. You'll see the news at 9 with highlights of the ball game. Foul ball outside third. He got around late on that one.
Golden figures to hit the ball to left or left center. The infield is deep, but the outfield is playing Golden shallow. And with Brenly at second base, even on a base hit, they'll have a shot at him if he tries to score.
Golden's only hit 1 a ball game. There's a high pop fly, right field. Moreland is there. 2 gone. And now we come down to the moment of decision. 2 out. Cubs lead 5-4. Listen to this crowd of in excess of 17,000.
And a man who's becoming a premier pinch hitter, Candy Maldonado, is going to pinch hit. Maldonado has had some kind of year as a pinch hitter, hitting .500, 6 for 12 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs.
Maldonado, formerly of the Dodgers, the Candy Man, the right-hand hitter, and the good one. There you say Jim Fry. Nothing to worry about, right? Get this guy out, and you go home with your 9th straight come-from-behind victory. Maldonado won't be taking any pitches. Almost threw it away. A slider low.
Bob Brenly is getting a big lead off second base. You'd like somebody to shorten up that lead. If you can get a step or just have him going back to the bag, you can save what would be the tying run. And now they're going to pinch run for Bob Brenly.
Quinones, I think it is.
Luis Quinones.
Quinones. Little infielder running. He's the tying run with 2 out. All depends here on Lee Smith, Candy Maldonado. All that's happened in this ball game. The outcome is 60 feet 6 inches away. The pitcher and the hitter is what it boils down to. There's a drive way back. It might be. It could be. It is a home run. Holy cow. It looked like he hit a slider that just hung up there.
It's a 3rd pinch hit home run, the 5th pinch hit home run by the Giants this year, tying them with all of last year. And Candy Maldonado has just been spectacular off the bench for the Giants.
You want to see that pitch again, Arnie? It wasn't a fastball. It was a little off speed. You could tell the way he pulled the ball into the left field corner.
Looked like that off-speed slider, Harry.
Yeah. His bread and butter is heat. Gladden fouls the pitch off. Oh, boy, after... Well, it's not over yet. Oh, 2 the count.
These two clubs played 4 one-run games in Candlestick Park, and they're at it again here today.
It's 6-5 in favor of the Giants. He struck him out after the horse was stolen. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 6-5 Giants.
That's why the Sunday Tribune is the only Sunday paper to buy. The Chicago Tribune. Can it get your Sunday's work?
Luis Quinones is the shortstop, and Bill Lasky. There you see Brad Golden's going to stay in the game as the catcher. And Bill Lasky comes in looking for his first save of the year.
Lasky, the 5th Giant pitcher of the day. 1-0, 3.24 ERA, his 13th appearance, no saves. 16 2/3 innings, 18 hits, and 6 earned runs. He's been touched for 3 homers in 16 2/3 innings. Walked 4 and struck out 6. He's not overpowering. The Cubs have had good luck against him in the past.
Thad Bosley will lead it off. Fastball low and inside. Brad Golden behind the plate.
Golden doesn't throw very well. If the Cubs can get on, they might be able to exploit Golden's arm.
Smash foul outside first base. The count evens up with a ball and a strike. Maldonado, a 2-run homer with 2 out in the 9th. You talk about heroics. His 3rd pinch hit home run. Ground ball. Hey, juggles it. Got him at first base. Just barely. 1 away. Here's Dunston.
Quinones comes in on this ground ball. He charges it okay. Then he can't get the grip on the ball. And Thad Bosley hustling down the line comes an eyelash from beating this one out at first.
Awfully close. Well, here's Dunston. He started the comeback in the 8th with a base hit. A little bit low. What an exciting ball game. It was dull for 7 innings, and since then it's been hysterical. Low ball 2. The Sarge is still in the ballgame, you know. He hit the homer in the 8th. He'll be coming up next. 2 balls, no strikes. Ball 3. Lasky doesn't throw real hard.
Hensley and Berenguer now warming up in the bullpen.
Walked on 4 pitches. Dunston is on with 1 out.
Now Roger Craig coming out. He wants to have a word with Bill Lasky. And this is the situation you want to have. A good base runner at first base and a catcher without a great arm behind the plate.
Craig has not motioned to the bullpen. Apparently just wants to talk to Lasky. Lasky will be trying for his first save of the year. He's going to stay with him. And the Sarge, who homered with a man on in the 8th, to spark the comeback, which found the Cubs leading 5-4 going into the 9th. Only then Maldonado line a home run into the left field stands with 2 out. Sandberg on deck. It's dark and it's very cool, but the game is red hot. Low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Lasky's never been known as a closer, and that could hurt him in this situation. Sometimes your arm gets tight. You have a tendency to throw the ball away.
Now time is called. Hold everything here. The Cubs are trailing. Cubs are behind 4-0 going the bottom of the 8th. They got 5 to take the lead. Had 2 out in the 9th when Maldonado, a pinch hitter, put the Giants ahead with a 2-run homer.
Chris Brown very close to the line at third base. Nothing's going to get between him and the bag. That opens up a hole between Brown and Quinones at shortstop.
The pitch. Inside! And Lasky having trouble finding the plate. Now remember, Dunston is lightning fast. Any kind of an extra base hit, he could score. He dives back safely. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, 1 on. He's back again. The Sarge takes a look at Don Zimmer. There goes a runner. Strike call to third. He's in with a stolen base. The tying run at second with 1 out.
They do take advantage of the arm of Brad Golden. He bounced the ball to second. Good jump by Dunston. Watch the throw. Good play by Quinones, just keeping this ball from going into center field. But you can see he's got to come up to catch the ball, and he can't get the tag down in time. Dunston knows there's going to be a play, and he's pouring it on.
That's a 3rd stolen base of the year. Look at Dunston.
Gets a good jump.
That's what you call submarining in the second base. Look at that. 2 balls and a strike, 2 shots at the tying run. 1 away. 2 balls and a strike on Gary Matthews. Inside, ball 3. Sandberg on deck.
If he doesn't get Matthews, I doubt if he's going to face Sandberg. They would probably go to Berenguer, who throws a lot of heat.
Hot smash from the shortstop. Throws to first to the out. That ball was hit sharply, but unfortunately, the Sarge hit it right at him. 2 gone. It's up to Sandberg now. He's 1 out of 4 today. Boy, you got to give these Giants a little credit, too, as we did the Cubs. Apparently beaten in the 9th, just as the Cubs are apparently beaten in the 8th. The Giants had the character to fight back from sure defeat to turn the game into a lead again, just as the Cubs did in the 8th. Sandberg. Low and outside. Bill Lasky going for his first save. Pitchers of record are Minton and Smith. Into the dirt, ball 2.
Nice stop by Golden. He saved that one from going to the screen.
2 balls, no strikes. 2 men out, the tying run at second base. Moreland waiting on deck. Bill Lasky's been throwing a lot of breaking balls. Maybe he'll hang one of them. Right down the middle of fastball. 2 balls and a strike. Had a good cut, but he fouled it back. Six runs on 8 hits. For the Giants. 6 runs on 6 hits for the Giants make it. 5 runs on 8 hits for the Cubs. 2-2. Oh, he had a good cut and he fouled it back. Lasky went to a sidearm fastball that time. Scoreboard says 6 hits. Should be 7. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball, deep short. The throw. Giants win. 6-5. A heartbreak loss for the Cubs. We'll be back with the totals in a moment. With Steve Stone, Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Boy, this is really a tough one to lose here today. But on the other hand, it would have been very tough for the Giants to lose too. But when you have the kind of heroics that the Cubs had in that 8th inning and playing at home, you just think you got everything going for you. You had to give the Cubs a lot of credit picking themselves up in the bottom of the 8th, and you have to give the Giants a lot of credit for picking themselves up in the top of the 9th, especially since they're on the road.
Well, the Cubs showed their never-say-die attitude. They came fighting back after being completely stopped by Scott Gureltz. But it wasn't to be. Lee Smith ran into a very hot pinch hitter in Candy Maldonado. He's now had 7 hits in 13 pinch hitting attempts, including 3 home runs. And for the Giants, they've hit 5 pinch hit home runs this year, which ties him with all of last year. So Roger Craig getting a great deal of support from his bench.
You know, you're a pitcher. You're a Cy Young Award winner. And I know you've been in a lot of these spots. The pitch that Maldonado hit seemed to be something off speed, like a medium a fastball or a medium slider. I know it wasn't a pitch with the velocity that Lee Smith usually throws.
Well, you like to get beat with your best pitch, and in this situation, you don't want Candy Maldonado to pull the ball. The only ball he's going to take out of the ballpark is an off-speed breaking ball. Lee Smith got one right over the middle of the plate, and I think, Harry, it was a case of location more than anything else. Had Lee Smith had to do it over again, he probably would have gone with the fastball away. If he gets a base hit, you want him to get it to center or right center because you're going to stay in the ballpark that way. But in this case, it just didn't work out for Smitty. But you have to hand it to Candy Maldonado. Since this season started, and since Maldonado came over from the Los Angeles Dodgers, he's been nothing short of spectacular off the bench.
You know, when we saw him with the Dodgers, he never pulled the ball with that kind of authority.
Well, he's a different hitter now. You know, he's got something to prove. The Dodgers obviously didn't want him. They traded him away. And every time he goes to bat, he probably feels he's got to show the team that traded him that he is a quality ball player. Maldonado can hit. The one thing he didn't do for the Los Angeles Dodgers was he didn't run like the Dodgers like their outfielders to run. So they traded him to San Francisco, and what a great acquisition by the Giants.
You know, there's a play that happened in that 8th inning with a, you know, funny how you have this feeling about the importance of another run. I think I made some references to it, that important extra run. And the count on Dernier was 2 balls and a strike. Now, any pitch that you think is a good pitch to put the squeeze on, with a pitcher out there not wanting to lose the hitter to go to 3-1, you figure that maybe is going to challenge Dernier. So I think from the standpoint of the Cubs, it was a proper, if you're going to squeeze, it was a proper moment to try it. And I think from the Giants, you got to give them credit for having the courage to pitch out in that spot.
Well, you have to bear something in mind. Roger Craig has been out on that mound for many years in the major leagues, and Craig is the man that calls all the pitch outs for the Giants. When he came over here, he said, I'm taking control. He calls a lot of pitches, and he calls 100% of the pitch outs. Now, the Cubs ran into a couple of pitch outs in Candlestick Park. They did it once today, and it was a great timing for the pitch out, and it worked very well for San Francisco with Manny Trio at third base. Craig elects to pitch out. The Cubs run right into it, and it was a bad break, and eventually it cost him the ball game.
You know, it's funny how a game can go along as this one did, where it seems like it's no contest. The other team's got the game won 4-0 at the end of 7th. The way Gurels was pitching, who would ever dream what was going to happen in the 8th inning? But that's the fascination of this great game of baseball. There is no form sheet. What you expect never happens, and what you don't expect always does. And I guess this is the greatest charm of this marvelous game of ours.
Well, these two teams are so evenly matched. They played 10 straight one-run games in Candlestick Park. And here you see Ron Cey going back up the middle. This looked like it was going to hold up as the game-winning RBI, the first of the year for the Penguin, but it didn't happen. This team now has played 5 straight one-run games this year. So anytime they hook up, you know it's going to be a pretty good ball game. And, Harry, the last 3 innings of this one were real exciting.
I should say they were. Any other play in this game that comes to your mind at all for discussion?
Well, obviously the bunt by Davey Lopes, and it was a controversial play because Jim Fry pinch hit for Leon Durham. Now, we showed a picture of Leon Durham in the dugout, not a very happy man, but Jim Fry had the presence of mind to go over and talk to the bull, explain to him just exactly why he was doing it. He needed a bunt, and he needed a good one. Davey Lopes did bunt the ball right back at Mark Davis, who threw the ball away. Now, Mark Davis, you figure, has got an easy play at third base because the ball is bunted hard. Nope. He doesn't have an easy play. He throws it almost into the dugout, and things were looking pretty bright at this point for the Cubs.
It looked like Mark Davis went to an abnormal level with his arm. Looked like he almost underhanded the throw. He was only about 35 feet away from the third baseman. It seems unbelievable, inconceivable that he could throw the ball that far off the mark. But there again, you get into the great game of baseball where you never know what's going to happen.
Well, it behooves a pitcher to be able to field. Lee Smith had his problems with a bunt right back to him, and Mark Davis had a problem with a bunt right back to him. And teams work on this all spring. They roll the ball to the pitchers and bunt the ball to the pitchers, have them throw to the bases, especially with runners at first and second. They'll have a pitcher throw maybe 100 times during the course of the spring to third base. Most of the pitchers can do it well, but you saw today when a pitcher doesn't field his position, many times it's going to cost him a ball game. Mark Davis made a mistake. He got away with it. Lee Smith made a mistake on what could have been a double play. He didn't get away with it. So you see most of the big winners around the game, guys like Dwight Gooden especially and Fernando Valenzuela, these guys field their position well, and it saves them a lot of victories.
There's no doubt this is the toughest loss of all for the Chicago Cubs. I think it compares with the one where Terry Kennedy hit the 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th at San Diego. And this is another one in the top of the 9th with 2 out that Maldonado hits a homer. You talk about the Cubs' record. Those 2 games alone put them over the 500 mark if they won them instead of lost them. But we'll be back tomorrow. Okay, see you then.
Hopefully a better outcome.
All right, here are the totals now for the victorious San Francisco Giants. 6 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. The winner is Greg Minton, now 2-2, and Bill Lasky picked up his first save of the year. For the Cubs, 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Lee Smith is the loser. He now is 1-2 and lost 3. The final game of the series and the last one of this homestand tomorrow afternoon at 1:20. Now with Steve Stone, this is Harry Carey, reminding you that win or lose or draw, we've got a tie, you know. I'm a Cub fan and a Bud man, and I hope you are too. See you later. So long, everybody. Participating advertisers in Cubs baseball were Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just the light. Your Chicagoland, Northern Indiana Better Buick dealer. Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick? Canon's so advanced, it's the world's leader in 35mm photography. Zenith and your Zenith dealers. At Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on. United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies. Unical 76 and your neighborhood Unical 76 dealers who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. Your neighborhood True Value hardware stores, they've got what it takes. Toyota, who could ask for anything more? Toyota. And the McDonald's of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Our next televised game on Channel 9 will be between the Chicago Cubs and the San Francisco Giants tomorrow afternoon. Our telecast will begin with the leadoff man at 1 o'clock. Our executive producer-director has been Arnie Harris. The graphics by our assistant director, John Walgren. Our sports editor is Jack Rosenberg. The Giants win the thriller from the Cubs 6-5. This has been a WGN Television 9 sports presentation.
The classic.